Christian is not joining us. I don't know if Jim is planning on joining tonight or not, but it is 6:06, and I have had enough of reality. So let's jump back in. Give me a count in, Ben.
5, 4, 3.
When last we left our heroes, an unfortunate timing of events left them in charge of investigating a ruckus on Peddler's Row, while the overnight security shift was preoccupied with a zombie attack on the West Gatehouse. Finding a small horde of cackling demon arsonists, our heroes quickly dispatched the threat, then noticed a shifty-looking fellow laying low and looking suspicious. Confronting him, they found the man reeking of alcohol. He quickly confessed to having summoned the demons in an ill-advised plan to haggle with a merchant. Our heroes were models of restraint in dealing with the drunkard. Dylan Fiasco, custodian of the College of Eloquence, soon arrived and handled the situation by sending the offender to timeout in pandemonium. After all the excitement and a bit more conversation over the messaging pendants, our heroes soon bedded down for the evening. Xanthion again spent the night with Keeper Lilith Willowwind, but this time not talking about his daddy issues. I hope. The next day marked the Bardic Symposiums, the first real day of business during Odic Fest. Titus was up and out early, dispatching his familiar Ned to rouse Petra and lead her to the seamstress in Peddler's Row, where she received the elegant ball gown Titus had procured for her. After tinkering with the enchantment that made the dress smell of the ocean, Petra donned the dress and met up with Titus in the orchard, where she found him talking with Felix over an impromptu breakfast. Emma, meanwhile, collected her newly redesigned Dark Shard amulet, then contacted the rest of the party to see what they were up to, hoping to stave off her perpetual preteen boredom. A mysterious new voice was heard over the messaging pendants, advising that Emma would be predisposed for a bit. Xanthion immediately recognized the voice as that of Lord Maloff, Emma's warlock patron. Emma fell unconscious for the first time in quite a while and found herself floating in a lightless void, the only sound the disdaining voice of Maloff, which expressed displeasure over her pursuit of druidic magic and reminded her that she was his property. In so doing, Maloff referred to himself as the King of Air and Darkness, suggesting perhaps that his coup against the Gloaming Court had already been successful. After telling Emma he was going to teach her a lesson, the child regained consciousness just as Felix was attempting to scoop her up and examine her, and the rest of her allies arrived. Xanthion cast protection from good and evil on Emma, who immediately screamed and recoiled in pain. Emma's appearance then began to shift in front of the party's eyes, her features becoming decidedly more Fey-like. Our heroes questioned Emma, and once she had recounted her experience, Xanthion immediately implored Lilith to use the sending spell to contact Leaf and let the old druid know what had happened. Lilith then received the enigmatic response, "They have you surrounded." It is just past midday in Bright Hollow. The weather is bright and warm. The various colleges, which had spent the morning to themselves during the seclusive forums, are now just beginning to gather in the main square for the grand symposium. Lilith shakes her head in confusion and says, "I have to speak with the custodians. I'll catch up with you all later," and heads west toward the square.
Xanthion's gonna head back towards the group and just be like, "We got back a message. They said they have us surrounded."
Titus isn't there. He went off during the conversations.
Right. Titus is not there.
So, who's there currently? Is Petra there?
Yes, Petra is there.
So, who are you speaking of?
Lilith did the sending spell to Leaf, and Leaf said they have us surrounded.
Who has us surrounded?
Good question.
All right, so your message really doesn't affect my life if I have no context. So bye. And she's gonna pivot, turn, and skip away.
All right.
Is Emma there? Where is this? Where's he? I'm confused.
Xanthion walked back to the group.
Zoom out so you see more of the map. You guys are still currently right there
Between the hedgerows
that lead between the square, the city center, and Peddler's Row. The time is about noon. You know, at some point, several of you do have an invitation to attend an event known as the Tryst this evening. That begins about 6 o'clock. And until you are called for the Tryst, the rest of you are expected to report for duty as normal, everybody except Petra, at 4 p.m. Then you will be called to the Tryst when they are prepared for you. And until that happens, until you come on duty at 4 o'clock, you're pretty much free to your own devices. So is there anything anybody wants to do?
Petra wants to flaunt her dress about town and attempt to get as many stupid men as possible to give her things and buy her things because she's pretty.
Gotcha. Not the easiest thing to do at the moment. As you skip away, are you skipping away toward further into Peddler's Row, or are you skipping away toward the main square?
Main square.
All right. So as you skip away toward the main square, leaving the rest of the party behind you, you find that the square itself is beginning to fill up. It seems like all of the various individual Bardic colleges have adjourned from what are called the seclusive forums, where they all break apart and talk to each other individually with their custodian. Now everybody is starting to fill back into the main square, where they were in the opening night during the recitation of the Ode of the Bards and the opening of the fest. And it's starting to get packed kind of shoulder to shoulder as people are kind of jockeying with each other. Everybody wants to have position to get a good view of the stage. And you already see a couple of the custodians, most of which you have already met in passing, Petra, as they have attempted to woo you toward their particular college. There's a handful of them already up on stage, and you see other people coming from each pathway starting to fill back in. So there's not a lot of carousing going on right now, which is actually weird because you've had basically 2 days of nothing except that. But it seems like this is the day where people are actually paying attention to the actual purpose of this gathering. Still, definitely you're getting some looks. I mean, you're a tabaxi in an elegant ball gown.
Yeah, Petra's gonna look for either Dylan or what's his face?
Numinat, the College of Whispers guy.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
Shannon, can you ping where we are on the map? And I was reloading.
Currently, if you zoom out, because you got to be right there. All right. It's kind of hard to make anything out. You know he's not up on stage. Neither of them are up on stage yet. And the square is pretty darn packed. So you are going to be looking for them for a little while. I will get back to you.
Okay. Petra's just going to yell amongst
Oh,
the crowd. I will flash anyone who can give me information as to where Dylan or Numinat is.
roll a persuasion.
And yeah.
Oh my god. Good.
Mhm. All right. Before too terribly long at all, you have a few different bards tell you that Eloquence Veldtalon was meeting in the orchard, so he should be northwest of town and should be expected into the square at any time now because the Grand Symposium is supposed to be starting soon. But if you wish to go looking for him, head toward the orchard.
Okay, she's gonna say, all right, who's taking me there?
Yeah, with
And
a 24. With a
She
24, that's
yanks
going to be
her
enough.
collar line down.
It's just
Yeah.
a line.
I'm just trying to imagine. I'm trying to think if Tabaxi,
Yeah, no, imagine away.
like, I'm just trying to imagine, like, trying to think of, like, would it be like anthropomorphic, like anatomy, or would
You're
it
the
be just
DM
like a
here.
row
You're-
of nipples?
Question. Yeah, no, I haven't imagined it. I'm just leaving that up to everybody else's imagination.
You know what? We're just gonna leave that as a little teaser. Nobody really knows.
Yeah, little Easter egg. You're welcome, YouTube. Whatever you're into. I hope this doesn't awaken anything in you.
Does the cat have tits? We don't know.
She might.
More little pictures, Petra, to look like the Cats movie that came out a couple of years ago.
Oh God, no! Please don't
Oh,
do that.
God,
That's
no.
insulting.
That's Morlow's image of what you look like.
Oh wow. Okay.
You
Oh,
you
no.
you need to watch the new Monster Hunter movie because there's a Tabaxi in it that's a pirate. You need to watch
Ooh.
it. It's actually amazing.
All right. So you do indeed, with a 24, convince someone to escort you.
Right.
And leads you up away from the town square up to this opening in the fence that runs around the orchard. And as you start to go in, you do notice a large group of people, probably 150 people that look like they're just in the process of ending some sort of gathering together as people start to get up and kind of shuffle toward the exit. So it does look like whatever they were up to is coming to an end.
Who's at the center? She's gonna go to whoever is at the center of the gathering.
Okay, roll me either perception or investigation. Yeah, you actually spot Dylan. He is in this opening right over here, where there is just a little bit of an area where there is no trees. And that seems to be the area that he had taken up in a central location to be able to talk to everybody.
Okay, well,
You just-
Petra's gonna approach Dylan and ask him what she missed.
Okay. So you walk up to him. He's
And
talking.
she's gonna before she does that, she's gonna turn to whoever escorted her there and flash her chest. Whether or not she has tits, nobody knows, but she flashes them.
Great. Oh. Did anyone else just lose audio on Aaron, or is it just me?
I did.
Aaron, we just lost your audio.
I don't know if Aaron can hear us.
I'm so sorry, I couldn't hear whatever was just said.
I just said that we just lost your audio for a second.
Yeah.
I think you glitched
Okay, what was the last thing you heard me say?
out. That we don't know exactly what's being flashed, but something is being flashed.
Right. So yeah, you don't know what's being flashed, but she flashes something and then she pivot turns back to Dylan and says goodbye over her shoulder and then goes and approaches Dylan.
So you walk up to Dylan. He seems to be lollygagging behind, just talking to a few of the younger looking bards, maybe some of the new recruits for Veld Talon. Let's see here.
Yeah, if she approaches all of them, she's just going to say, yeah, important bard business, and then shoo them away and grab Dylan by the arm and escort him if she
All right.
can.
So, yeah, and he is just completely blindsided. He is not paying attention. He does not see you approach. You just walk up, wrap an arm into the crook of his elbow, and just kind of shoo the other people away. And he just kind of glances sidelong at you. He's like, "Oh, well, hello there."
Well, hello. Did you forget we had a date?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. I made that up, but sure. Yeah, no, we have a date. So, where are we headed?
Well, for right now, I am headed to the main square for the grand symposium.
All
Please,
right. Well, then I
feel
guess
free
you're
to accompany me.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I hope you're inviting me because I'm such a lady.
Actually, let me ask you.
Mm-hmm.
We have already sworn in some of the new crop of Veld Talon, but
Ooh, crop.
And I know you don't strike me as a follower, but are you wanting to join, or you want to put that on the back burner for now?
I mean, it depends on how worthwhile you're going to make it. If you can convince me on the way to the town square, maybe I will consider joining.
And he just, without missing a beat, just kind of starts walking, pulling you gently along by the elbow. And he just has his elbow crooked, and you've got your arm through that, and then he just puts his hand on top of yours and just strolls. You like to be coy, I can tell.
What? Me? No. Please.
Look, no pressure. It's entirely up to you. I respect a lady's prerogative to make up her own mind. But
Well, you're one of the very few.
we're a rare breed, bards. But I think deep down, I think you've heard the song calling to you.
Run, piggy, run.
And I think deep down inside, you're loving the attention. And you know what? I can't blame you. Because you are the prize of the hour for this year's Odic Fest, with all of these fools. And at this point, he's walked up to and out of the lane, this area in the fence. So you guys have kind of a glance, a straight line of sight toward the main stage in the center square. And he just kind of nods with his head toward that. And he says, watching these idiots fall all over themselves to try to court your fancy has been nothing but exceptional. And to be honest, I was one of those idiots at the beginning.
You were. It was quite a show. I was quite impressed with myself, I must say. But you are very smart. You caught on quite quickly.
Yeah. So if you want to follow the whims of my fellow custodians somewhere other than Veldtalon, know you have my blessing. But
Aww.
I absolutely believe you will regret it in the
Mm.
long run. You
Well,
have a short
I mean,
tongue.
Is it impossible to have both? Can I just, have both? Can I just commit to you and, go fool around with the rest of them, or is that forbidden or something?
Oh no, absolutely. We're a big family.
Oh,
Just because you
lovely.
joined Veldtalon doesn't mean that you can't play with the other kids at recess.
Lovely. Well, then great. As long as I'm not restricted to,
Listen.
whatever I fancy.
And he stops, and in like a weird pivot step, he like steps around using you kind of as a hinge or a pivot. So he just kind of twirls around, and instead of having you by the elbow, he now just kind of takes both hands in yours, or both of your hands in his, or at least the one that you was crooked on your elbow. If he wants to take the other hand, but you would be able to pull it away if you want to. But it's kind of a cute moment. That's just like he is making you the center of his world for the time being. And he just holds your hands and he looks at you and he says, listen, I think you are exceptional at what you do. And I think what you do could be honed into something incredible. I would like to be a part of that. But I also get the sense that you like to keep a distance. And again, I can respect that. 8. Listen, come to the tryst tonight. Just follow your heart.
All right. I've never had that advice before, so good enough for me. I'll see you tonight.
And he just kind of laces his fingers with yours and gives your hands like this little squeeze. And he says, okay, I've really got to go because it's getting embarrassing that I'm this late. And he just kind of
You're super important. Bye.
And as he turns and walks away, he just kind of waves over his shoulder, looking back at you, just 2 fingers in the air. Into the throng of people in the city square. Meanwhile, while that is going on, Xanthion, Emma, Morlo, anything that you guys want to be doing. Titus, you are away from them a little bit, but is there anything that Titus wants to be doing at this point?
No, Titus is just sitting beside a tree, watching the gathering.
Okay.
Emma is
I'm gonna
no
say
longer
he's-
bored.
I'm gonna say he's beside this tree here.
Okay, so you have actually walked quite a ways away.
Yeah, I walked quite a ways.
You are definitely surrounded by people if you're in that tree, because the crowd is in the center square is actually now fuller than it was the opening night. So it is like spilling out into and around the surrounding buildings. So
He's gonna be writing in his book, and I'll send you what he's writing.
okay, sounds good. Text or messenger?
Messenger.
Got it.
Marlowe's just gonna pull out his walking axe and practice some of his forms.
Okay, and there is plenty of room outside of the center square. There is plenty of room to be.
Marlowe, yeah, Marlowe's going to. He's going to kind of go back over here behind. Where's it at? Right here.
Yeah.
You see that? Gonna go back there behind the building, so it's not to draw attention to himself, just so he can meditate
Okay.
and kick some imaginary ass.
Okay. Cool. And what is Emma doing?
Emma's boredom has been replaced with concern, for one. But there's not really anything she can do about it at the moment. So I think she's gonna go to the. It was this one. This was the tavern place.
Yes, that is the drinking hall that you guys first convened in upon your arrival in Bright Hollow.
Is that place packed at the moment?
No, there are a handful of people, because not everyone who is attending Odic Fest is a bard. This is just a bit of a party environment. But the vast majority of people in attendance are bards, and all of the bards seem to be in the square listening to the custodians at this point.
Yeah, I'll go to the square. I'm gonna listen to the custodians.
Okay. Logan, what is Xanthion doing?
Xanthion's gonna follow Emma.
Okay, so Xanthion and Emma are together, and Morlo is off to himself practicing. Right, okay. And Petra, once you separate from Dylan, what do you do?
Petra is just going to, she's going to look for Titus. She owes him a date.
Roll an investigation check, because he is sitting in a crowd of people who are standing, and he is not easy to find. But a 22 should be good enough. All right, you will find him in short order. Okay. Those of you who are paying attention to the goings-on in the center square, the custodians, all 8 custodians, have now rejoined up on stage the same way that they were on opening night for the recitation of the Ode of the Bards. But this time, it is a much more, I'm not going to say somber, but it is a very business-like atmosphere. And the you can tell that the younger bards, the newer bards, the ones especially who have just sworn an oath to one of the various colleges, are all super crowding in around the stage because they want a good seat. But even the older, more seasoned bards are paying attention, and the custodians start to talk to the crowd, and they're just giving a little bit of a general spiel. Nothing as grandiose as the opening of the fest, but just, welcome brothers and sisters of the song. to this, the Grand Symposium, where we shall discuss the goings on in Sangamet and beyond. And then they just kind of go into, it's really a kind of a question and answer. It's really weird because all of a sudden, just without being prompted, people in the crowd just start shouting out questions to the stage, and then the custodians will speak among themselves for a bit, confer on who's going to answer, and then answer. And you notice that probably a good 60% of the time, the answers are coming from Uxin Pavel, the dragonborn custodian of Aethris, the College of Lore. He seems to be very much the professor of the custodians. But a lot of the questions just have to do with historical goings on in Sultamachia, which is the continent across the sea, or various things going on in the Warbler Islands, a few questions about the Shatterlands. It's all very, very much so that when bards are singing odes of historical value, they are up to date on the most current information. And it's honestly, for as wild a party as Odic Fest has been up until this point, it's a little dry. It's a little dry.
Petra's in the audience, right?
Yeah.
Petra.
Oh, I think we just lost your audio again, Aaron. Can you hear me? I'm not hearing you, Aaron.
I don't think my internet's very good.
Oh, I'm hearing you now. Hearing you now.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Internet is slow here.
No worries.
I think she cut out again.
I
Oh
do too.
no. I'm sorry. Okay, I heard no
She's
worry.
back.
I'm sorry. My
That's all
internet
right.
is not good here.
That's all right. No worries. We can work around that.
Yeah.
Okay, what would Petra like to be doing?
Petra's going to ask what of the undead roaming the forest nearby. She's just gonna kind of like hop up out of the audience with her hand raised and, you know, do one of those ooh 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 ooh.
Yep. And so you
Yeah.
ask the question, and it's actually
Super
kind of an
obnoxious.
interesting experience because as you ask that question, quite a few heads turn in your direction, and you can kind of see in several faces that were a lot of people who just wanted to jump right to that and just didn't have the courage to. So it's kind of like that icebreaker where it's like, oh, thank God she asked that, so I didn't have to. And so you ask the
Just kind of
question.
gives the finger guns to everybody nearby.
Hey, Shannon.
Yeah.
Which one of these buildings around here is the tallest?
The
Where?
tallest would probably be this one.
This one?
Yes.
Is there a way on top of it?
Is there what?
A way on top of it.
Yeah, I mean you can find a way to climb up there. It's got several additions, so it would be easy to climb up onto one of the additions and then up onto the central roof.
Emma's gonna scramble up on there and be sitting like right here,
Sure.
just watching it from there.
Okay, cool. So you watch the custodians confer for a moment. And once again, Uxin Pavel steps up closest to the edge of the stage that you are, and you hear him start to speak. And this entire time, you're not really sure what the magic is that they're using, but their voices carry considerably more than a normal voice would. The projection is such that it basically sounds like he's standing right in front of you, even though you're several feet and several people deep away from the stage. And he just says, well, I think we're all very concerned with that. There are many reports all throughout Sangamet of this zombie affliction that is going on. We know this much. Bites and perhaps scratches are infectious. Those who are diseased with this plague, most people succumb after a number of days. We're not certain exactly how long it takes. Some people seem to recover, but we have it on good faith that even the ones that have apparently restored to perfect health, if they befall some fatality, they themselves will return as one of the shambling undead. We know that there are certain magics, certain lesser restorations that will end the affliction. We do not know from whence this threat came, but we know that it is widespread. The best course of action, should any of these creatures be seen, is to put distance. There is very little threat of them overtaking you, as long as you're vigilant.
Petra chimes in, so you know no more than the rest of us, I take it.
This is all rapidly
Petra the
unfolding.
heckler.
The first that we heard of these creatures, the first rumors, the first whispers, came over the winter. Since the spring thaw, things have been moving very quickly. We're working to figure out as much as we can about them. As of now, we are asking for any information that we can get from any source that we can get it from.
So you didn't know that Keotum's ointment does help against wounds from the undead?
And this little murmur goes throughout the crowd. And you watch the, I can't help you with that right now. Hold on. You watch the custodians kind of confer with each other, and that pink-skinned tiefling with the purple hair that you had met briefly, you see her come up and she whispers something in the Dragonborn's ear, and he whispers something back, and you do notice Numenot, the College of Whispers custodian, while he seems to be doing his absolute best to look thoroughly disinterested, even he perks up a little bit at this conversation. And says, the pink-skinned tiefling comes over beside Ux and Pavel, standing beside him facing you, and just says, yes, that's actually been recently brought to our attention. That actually seems to be the entire reason why Elmswain is still standing. They got on top of it early.
Oh, and who was it that brought that to your attention? Just curious.
Actually, it was a conversation that we heard over these, and she lifts up a messaging pendant.
So guards that were in your employ were talking about Keotum's ointment curing the affliction from the undead. Okay. Those were my friends, just so you know.
Oh.
The sass!
And she just pivot turns and walks away from the whole crowd.
Mic drop moment.
When the crowd kind of dies down, Titus is going to speak up. What creatures have many arms, and when they die, they turn into scorpions?
There's a very odd, murmur throughout the crowd, because that's a bizarre question. And hold on just one second. And there's a moment of discussion on the stage.
I'm watching everybody's face that's on the stage when I ask this question, and I'm going to make my way to the stage.
Okay. And there's a moment of discussion with each other, and yeah, it's Ux and Pavel who just looks at you. Says, I'm going to need some more information than that.
Well, you may ask your prying questions, and I will try to answer to the best of my ability.
And he actually starts coming down the stairs leading toward you, and the crowd just kind of parts away from him. As because a custodian coming down from the stage during this event is apparently pretty rare, and he walks up to you,
He's the Dragonborn.
the Dragonborn, in the
Okay.
big floofy hat with the feather in it. You, as a noble, recognize it as the fashion of Cortain, one of the other three kingdoms.
I'm
and-
going to bow to him, and I'm going to say it's a pleasure to meet you again.
And then he bows and says, "Well, I'm very sorry, I don't recall our first meeting."
That's as I suspected, but the creature came in darkness, had many arms, and would present them and roll around and crawl around like some crazy animal, maybe like a giant cricket, and it would cut people, and then once it was destroyed, it turned into a group of scorpions and pull out one of the scorpion carcasses and show him. It came through some kind of rift.
42. What is your name, sir?
Titus.
Titus. This is a matter that I believe needs to be discussed in a bit more educated environment. I'm afraid I don't have all of the answers that you seek, but I know someone who might. After we are done here with the Grand Symposium, would you be my guest tonight at Talabayad?
I am supposed to be up point over to the hill. Over there at
Mhm.
6. And then
Yes,
after
Oh, so you've already had an invitation extended to you.
yeah, from him, point at the guy.
Roll me an insight check. And yes, Isaac, it is Poker Face.
I hate it.
Yeah, so
I
16,
love it.
it's almost imperceptible. But for just a moment, you point, and his gaze goes over with your finger, and you just see for just a moment, there's this moment where, and this guy, you can tell just from the time you spent around him, it is very important for him to project an aura of composure and just a calm demeanor. And he looks over and his eyes fall on Numinat Hyacinth. And for just a moment, you watch the brow furrow and then go back. Just
Like
a moment.
concern or anger.
Just like, yeah, like with a 16, it could be either of those, but
Okay.
you get more of like the idea of like, oh, this guy.
Gotcha.
He
Okay.
turns back and he's like, well, also consider yourself to bear an invitation from Aethris. There will be many things discussed, and I believe that what you have brought before the Grand Symposium will be answered in part, if not in whole there.
What was odd is the day before this happened, or the night before, I watched someone perform a spell where they were gone for a limited amount of time into the ethereal plane. And when they returned, they had been attacked in the ethereal plane
Oh,
and were dead.
Blink.
Yes,
A caster used Blink and came back dead, you say?
correct.
My goodness.
That happened just a day's ride outside of this camp, town,
What?
establishment, whatever this place is. I mean, it looks like it's just ran by some very powerful singers.
Well, he just kind of cracks a grin. Well, we do know a thing or two. But
Hence why I'm
Is
asking the
his
question.
voice still being broadcasted?
no, it has gotten, sorry, I did forget to mention that. Whatever, and actually by this point, other questions have started coming in from the crowd toward the custodians on
And they're
stage. This
addressing
is now,
those.
this has now become a private conversation
Okay.
between Uxon and Titus.
I wasn't sure.
Yep. Sorry. Good point. I forgot to mention that. Hmm. Yes, well,
And Petra has completely left at this point.
okay.
She's left them all to the chaos and angry questions
Okay.
and skipped away very pleased with herself.
Well, I graciously accept your invitation, as I have accepted the other, and I bow like a noble. And just so you have the name correct, it's Titus Nicholas Octavius III.
Oh, my. Member of House Octavius. What is an honor, sir? And he bows in
The honor is mine.
the formal bow of greeting a noble of Cortanian fashion, which you are familiar with, even though
And
it is not
I
not
mirror
the
it.
nature. Yep, not the nature of the bow that you were taught, because it is a different kingdom, but it is a sign of respect.
If
Yeah.
Petra happens to be within earshot, she is going to roll her eyes incredibly hard as she skips away.
Nah, I would say you've probably skipped quite a ways by this point.
Oh, okay. Just, yeah.
Why?
For what you put without no words as a song.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Well, I have to return, but I look forward to seeing you later tonight.
We will see how it unfolds. And I turn and
What
go
time
away.
is it at this point?
Say what?
About what time is it at this point?
By this point, maybe 1:30.
Okay.
Charging. No. Hold on just 1 second, guys. You do not have. Okay. So for, is there anything Petra is skipping off to do?
Just wherever chaos calls her.
Right Hall is pretty dead right now. There are a few people milling about that are not bards, but by
She's
and
gonna
large,
find the nearest brothel then.
Right Hollow actually doesn't have a brothel, because outside of Odic Fest there is nobody here.
Any prostitutes or
Oh yeah,
local businesses nearby? Okay, she's just gonna go visit all of them and give them some gold then.
yeah. There are definitely there's definitely companionship available for a fee along Peddler's Row. They're basically just considered a just here.
Oh no, she's just gonna visit whoever's on whatever corner and give them like 100 gold each,
Nice.
or however many she can spare with
Okay.
however many people she meets.
So just on your character sheet, just mark off however much gold you want to be giving away.
How much is a platinum?
Platinum's worth 10 gold.
Okay, thank you. Okay, she wants to give away 200 in gold then to any prostitutes nearby.
Cool. All right. It'll take a while for you. Emma, are you staying up on the building for the entire time, like watching the entire thing?
Yeah, she's watching the crowd and then kind of also keeping an eye on anybody outside of the main square because she's not on guard duty, but she has nothing better to do.
Gotcha.
And I also want to say that she's not been focusing on it, and her eyes, just her eyes, return to those slitted cat eyes as she's watching the crowd.
Okay. Anything else for Titus or Morlo?
No.
Okay.
Titus just pretty much is doing what I sent you in text and just kind of keeping an eye on the questions to see if anything sparks his fancy.
Okay. It's all a lot of general information. It's all there is a little bit of magical lore that is bandied about. Just a few pointers on learning various cantrips, a few pointers on how to use magical enchantment to give a better performance and captivate a crowd, things like that. It's just a very, it's if you've ever been to
It's like behind the scenes for musicians and such.
exactly, it is basically a workshop. It is, they are workshopping, and that goes on for a while. Is Xantheon just hanging with Emma on top of the building?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I would say, go ahead.
Sorry. While Petra is doling out money to any of the local sex workers on the corners, she would also like to try to pickpocket any of the rich assholes on her way so she can keep giving it to anyone who needs money.
No.
Am I a bad influence to your son? I'm so sorry. Oh no, I'm a bad influence, you guys.
We know.
Oh no! Oh no!
That's all right.
It's a reckoning of my soul.
Go ahead. There's not a lot of opportunity. There does not seem to be. Most of the well-to-do people are back in the square. But you do have a couple of opportunities. Go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand check. All right. We will say you come up with 18 gold pieces pickpocketed.
Okay, yeah, she's like gonna pickpocket that and then immediately just toss it to the first person she sees after she pickpockets them. And she's gonna make it very obvious to the person she tosses it to, but you know, try to keep it all concealed from the person she stole from.
Okay.
And then just keep going. All cool, like.
All right.
You just stole gold and then gave it to a prostitute.
Yeah. Petra doesn't give a shit about gold. She just wants to have rich people have less of it.
You are very much a Robin Hood-esque character. Okay. The Grand Symposium goes on for a while. Lots of questions, lots of tips, lots of inside jargon about the ins and outs of being a bard. We'll say, for the sake of brevity, it goes on until about, I'd say, around 3 o'clock. So you guys have been sitting there at this point for a couple of hours. Petra has been milling about, sowing the seeds of chaos for about the same amount of time. Over the messaging pendant, all of you, except for Petra, who is off doing her own thing, says, you hear the voice of Lilith come over and say, can everybody meet me at the North Gatehouse, please?
Emma just
He's back and says,
crawls down and slides off the lowest rooftop
Okay.
and starts heading towards it.
I convey the information to Ned and see if he could take a stock of everything as I make my way there.
Sure.
Petra will continue to rob at will
Nice.
from the rich only.
And actually, yeah, you are at the North Gatehouse. You are within 100 feet, Titus, so you would still be able to see through Ned's eyes. All right. So you guys all converge on the North Gatehouse, and you find Lilith outside at her normal post. And she walks down the way a little bit to greet you, and she just says, the custodians would like all of you to attend the tryst this evening. They have questions.
This is why you brought us here?
Yes.
Thank you.
Was this to all the guards or the party?
Just the party.
Okay.
I will see them tonight as was planned before this conversation. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. Also, they would like to be able to communicate with your friend, Petra. Could you give this to her, please? And she holds out another pendant of messaging.
If
Who wants
nobody
to-
else grabs it, Emma's gonna take it,
Okay.
and she's gonna she's gonna stalk off and like mutter, "It's nice to finally be invited to something." And she's gonna go look for Petra.
Nice.
Or-
As you storm, kind of stalk away like the little goblin that you are. This is typically speaking, the symposium will last into the early evening, and then the custodians will convene in Talabayard. You will be summoned when you are when they're ready for you, usually around 6 or 7. In the meantime, you are expected to be on duty for your shift at 4 o'clock. And then they
Shannon.
will call you.
Morlow's going to wrap up his training, and
Okay.
can he at all see what Petra's doing?
Yeah. I mean, because you were a ways away from the square, so yeah, you do actually see her milling about.
So could you ping Petra's location?
Right now she is down this way.
Okay.
Hold
So
on. Sorry,
Morlow's going to make his way.
down that way.
Okay. Morlow's going to kind of sneak around the buildings,
Okay.
just kind of make his way just to stay hidden. But
Got
he's
it.
going to move towards Petra.
Okay. And Leela says, when you're called, the keepers will step in for you to cover your security duty. Good luck.
What is to be expected at this shindig?
Rubbing elbows with some very influential people.
Thank you.
Yep.
And I make my way back to where I'm supposed to be guarding.
Well, you're not on duty yet.
I know I'm making my way to where I'm supposed to be guarding within the next hour.
Oh, got it. Okay. Got it. Okay.
Do I find Petra?
Morlo finds Petra.
Okay. Morlow would like to ask Petra. I mean, I noticed that she's hidden, and I'm trying to stay hidden as well. Kind of hard for a giant turtle, but Morlow says to Petra, "I see what you're doing. May I ask why?"
Ask why what?
I see you taking. I see you taking money from someone, giving it to others.
Oh, you see me taking money from rich people. Yeah, I do that.
And you are
From
giving it to.
giving it to people who need it.
Why specifically these people?
Who, the people I'm stealing from?
The ones you are giving it to.
Oh, because they need it. And because they're being exploited
I had the
for their
feeling.
income.
And Morlow reminds Petra of his time in the belly of the Blackfin slave, and asks if it's similar to what he witnessed happening to the women on the ship.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if you ask any of the keepers of the brothels nearby, you might hear them call me the bod mother. But I like to make sure that women are taken care of no matter their profession, whether or not they want to be housewives. So I'd appreciate it if you'd keep this on the down low and not tell anybody what I do, because I am wanted in many, 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 many cities.
Morlow says, "I understand.
I'm worth a lot of money. I don't know if you really understand how much money I'm worth.
Well, I
in
don't,
many
I don't
cities.
know about that, but I see what you are trying to do, and I will help you if I may.
I appreciate it. I'm kind of a big deal. But yeah, if you want to help the women in the cities that we visit, then you can join me. I could use a partner.
After seeing what I saw on the ship, I know what needs to be done to help. But looking as I do, I'm not always the best one to do the helping. So
Darling, it doesn't matter how we look.
Emma's
so
the kind of
it may be easier to stop the harm than to offer the help. If you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely. You know, I can seduce and you can be my bodyguard if things go south. And we all have a purpose in this life. And maybe our purpose is to team up together and be this ass-kicking team who exploits the rich for the benefit of the poor. Or, you know, if that's not your thing, then don't incriminate me to the authorities. Thank you.
I would love to, but I've never ventured south. I would love to go.
Don't worry, I'll show you the way.
Yes.
Petra's the kind of character to, like, the first thing they do when they get in the city is they go and check the notice board to make sure their face isn't on a wanted poster.
Who says Petra's on any wanted posters? No one said that. Petra didn't say that.
I feel like Petra's on a wanted poster somewhere.
Don't say that. You can't prove that.
All right. So, anything anybody else wants to do? Oh, yeah, sorry. Isaac, go ahead and roll me an investigation check for Emma to see if you stumble across Petra. With a 10, I'll say it takes you about a good hour's worth of looking. Are you going to stick with it that long?
Yeah.
Okay. So we will say eventually Emma stumbles across Petra just being her usual chaotic self.
Oh, have I seen either Ned or the pig around? While I'm walking around in this hour?
You have seen the pig. You have not seen Ned.
Okay. I feel like when I saw the pig, I would have like whistled it over because I feel like by now it's used to like, hey, here's food.
It definitely does seem like it is becoming domesticated as the fest goes on. It is considerably less timid around people than it used to be.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it like a little bit of food, and then give it a pet it and head on going to look up for Petra.
Okay. So
Yeah.
eventually the two of you meet up.
Hey, Petra.
Hi, Nugget.
She's gonna take out the extra pendant, and her eyes are still cat slits, by the way. And she hands you the pendant, the ascending stone.
Aw, you're so cute. You're cute as a button. Is this for me? Did you make this for me? I'm so proud of you.
Oh my god. No, they want to be able to get a hold of you, the guard people or whatever.
Oh no, I don't want that. I don't need a connection to the authorities. It's a trap. It's always a trap, Nugget. You don't take a connection to the authorities if they give it to you willingly. That's Thief 101.
It's also a connection to the custodians.
Oh.
They want to be able to get a
Oh.
hold of you.
Oh, because I'm so important. Okay. Yeah.
Or
Yeah. Is
she
it
hands the pendant over.
it's like a necklace,
Yeah, I think so.
right? Okay, yeah, she's gonna slip it around her neck and say, "Hey everybody. Glad to be on. Glad to be here. Ready to do some heroic shit."
Yep, and it is just a like a polished stone, like an agate, in just a simple leather cord tied around it. So you're just sending that out in general.
Yeah.
You hear a voice come back that you've never heard before saying, "Hi."
Ooh, who is this? Hello. Are you a hero too?
Petra.
I'm talking to someone. Shh.
Yeah, I know.
Can you mute this?
can
I'm
hear
gonna
it,
say
too.
in the pendant. Can you mute this thing?
Well, no, actually, at this point, as soon as she says, "Who is this?" that switches the pendant from being general broadcast to individual. So
Ah.
you hear that like hi, and then that's the last thing you hear. Hi, my name is Alan. I'm part of the day security shift.
Alan, you sound super interesting. What's going on over there? Anything I can help with?
Emma
Just
just kind of sits down next to Petra, hearing this one-sided conversation, and goes, "Alan sounds like a dork."
just
Petra's gonna mouth to Emma. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing.
just guarding over by the West Guardhouse, keeping an eye out for zombies. I'm sorry, who is this again?
This is Emma. Bye.
Emma's
And-
gonna pick her own up, and go over the chat. That was not me.
You were not. You were. Oh yeah, you did hear that. So you just.
I
in
hear the
general-
one-sided
yeah.
conversation.
So all of a sudden,
Making eye contact with Emma when she says that. And
so all of a sudden, everybody with a pendant hears. What did you say, Emma?
That is not me.
Petra says, "Oh my God, you're no fun." Everyone over the necklace.
You are muted, Ben.
I'm gonna say over the necklace. I knew giving one of these to Petra was a bad idea. Please, Petra.
Petra says,
be like-
"We all knew giving one of these to Petra was a bad idea."
At this point, you actually hear the voice of Ryan Mir Elsinane, the male high elf keeper, come over and says, "Lilith, I thought I told you to give her one that was receive only."
Well, you know what? Lilith did a great job, but I am just too irresistible, and she decided to give me one with full range capacity. So I guess that's on you, buddy.
And you hear Lilith's voice come
You're
on and say,
frozen, by the way, Petra. Oh,
Oh,
no,
there it
never
goes.
mind.
and you hear Lilith's voice come on and she says, "Oops."
Lila
Oops.
sounds like a troublemaker.
Okay. Anything else anybody wants to do?
I have a question. Is
Yeah,
the
what's
man
up?
who ran the pig event still running around greased up?
As this is a more formal day as far as what is being done, the festival
Mhm.
games are currently not open.
Oh, okay.
But the last time when you were on shift last night, you definitely saw him in that pit.
Yeah, because she's always she did patrol right at
Yep.
in Peddler's Row. So I imagine
So
there was a good time she was just sitting there watching.
And given the fact that you know from firsthand experience with Dylan Fiasco that punishments here tend to be very creative, and a lot of artistic license taken in doling out punishment if somebody steps out of line, it would definitely seem in character that somebody who lost the pig would be forced to be the pig for the entire fest.
Oh dear. Yeah.
So Emma can put that on her resume.
And it's what time is it now?
Oh, by now we'll say. Actually, by now it's probably about 3 or 3:30. It's on It's at the cusp of you guys needing to be reporting for duty.
Emma's gonna make her way. She's probably already still in Peddler's Row, so she's probably gonna find the nearest guard and be like, "You can go ahead, and I'll take Peddler's Row for now. I'll start my shift early."
Okay. So Emma, we'll consider Emma to be on duty.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else from anybody else?
Is Xanthion try to tame the pig?
Roll me an animal handling.
Run, piggy, run.
Yeah, with a 20, you endear yourself to the pig. I mean, as much as any pig could be domesticated, we'll say you've made a friend.
I want to see if they'll follow me around while I'm on my shift now.
Yeah, it's following you around.
Piggy guard, piggy guard, piggy guard, piggy guard. Give the pig armor.
I'm just kind of like holds out a short sword, like put in the pig's mouth while he's walking around.
Yep,
I just imagine.
that's a thing that happened.
I just imagine.
We have a pig guard now.
Xanthion, that animal just
You see, all Xanthion has to do is get the pig to charge, and then your ankles are gone.
Need to get it double-sided, like a Darth
Yeah.
Maul short sword, and just plow into a crowd of people. So yeah, all right. So if there's not anything anybody else wants to do, we will say one by one. You all come on duty.
Mhm.
The symposium's still going on, so there is not a lot going on. About an hour into the shift, and things are still going relatively calmly. I will say, Logan, you're at the top of my Zoom screen, so I'm going to have you roll a D100, please.
Look at the bottom
Shannon,
of
I'm
my
gonna
Zoom
say that
screen.
Petra pickpockets her way back to the town square for the symposium.
Yeah, sure thing.
2.
72. Okay.
72 zombies storm the city. Roll initiative.
Where'd you put that evil on us?
5 minutes later.
How dare you?
I don't like the grin he had.
All right, 72. Rocks fall. Everybody dies. Roll new characters.
No way.
So it's been a little bit boring, to be honest with you. It's been very calm, very cool, very, just pretty chill. It does seem like from where you guys are, it seems like maybe the grand symposium is just starting to wind down a little bit. And now they're very much, those of you who, as your shifts or your patrols take you around the outside of the square, you can hear they're talking about really technical bard stuff, like how to tune your loot to drop D or something, I don't know. And it's kind of hard to stay focused. Honestly, it is by far, although you only had a couple of shifts on security duty so far, this is by far the hardest one to stay actively engaged with the environment, just because there is so little going on. There are a few people drinking. There is a little bit of commerce going on on Peddler's Row, but very little of it. And then we will say, probably around 5:30. So with this being March, late March, it is, the sun is starting to flirt with the horizon. And all of a sudden, over the messaging pendants, everyone who is on duty, and Petra, what the heck, we will say that you overhear this as well, but you are not actually expected to respond to it. You guys hear the voice of Lilith come over, and she says, I could really use some security at the North Gate. We've got ogres.
Xanthion runs and brings the pig with him.
You bring the pig with you?
Gonna keep that pig on me. I'm gonna cast speak with animals and be like, hey, get ready to use that short sword.
And the pig looks up at you, and its jaw drops open, and the short sword just falls out.
Yeah, picks it up and puts it back. And closes it.
I am really having flashbacks to the Simpson movie with Homer Simpson and the pig right now. I just imagine Xanthion at some point holding the pig up to the ceiling of spider pig, spider pig.
How round is this pig? Like, is it like the Simpson pig where it's like
Rotund.
No, it's not a very big pig. That's part of the difficulty of catching it while it's greased. It's probably. I am hearing my wife singing Spider Pig through the floorboards, and that may be the highlight of my marriage.
I was gonna say that may be the penultimate of wives.
I was just laughing so hard
You
that
did it.
my eyes squirted
Way to
out.
go, Shannon.
Yes. Well, I mean, I have discerning tastes, and,
You,
and Jody checks
fooled
all the
her.
boxes.
I'm going to be making my way up north and trying to see if I see Morlo on my way.
Hey,
Yeah.
Shannon,
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Could I technically wield the snake staff in wild shape?
What wild shape?
A snake.
You want to be a snake wielding a staff?
Yeah, like be able to take the attack from the staff.
Okay, hold on. I'm having a hard time picturing this. So you want to be a snake slithering around on the ground, whipping something with a staff?
No,
it-
like
with the
take
tail?
the bite attack from the staff.
Oh no, you're gonna have to actually be wielding
Okay.
staff to do
Okay.
that. So if you wild shape into something that has opposable thumbs and can manipulate tools, then yes. Something that's quadrupedal, probably
You
not.
want to be snake?
That was a weird. That was a really.
That was not
weird
what I don't
comment.
want to be a snake wielding a lightsaber. That's a little weird.
That's kind of amazing,
I
actually.
just imagined that cartoon.
I'm just imagining like a rattlesnake with the very largest rattle in the world, and the top of it is another snake. It's just that's what I'm picturing. All
That
right,
is
so
amazing. I'm gonna- Emma's gonna. I feel like she was on one of these buildings, probably this one,
okay,
and she's gonna slide off of it, sort of stumble as she falls and shift into a hyena.
hyena, great.
And she's darting towards she's dashing, so 100 feet a turn.
Okay.
Mo
And
would.
let me.
Right, Shannon. I want to go all in on this pig. Can I use summon beast and have like the spectral shape just kind of overlap on the pig, so it's like a spectral pig shape too?
Just to be clear, you want the beast spirit you summon to be a pig.
Yes, absolutely.
By God, yes, you can.
Yes.
And I mean, it is semi-corporeal, so absolutely, you could have it move with the pig. That is fine.
Amazing.
I am going to cast Gift Alacrity on Morlo.
All right, hold up just 1 second, because you guys are not currently together. You are all converging on the same spot. So let me get that.
There's a north gate, so it's like right up here.
Yep.
Okay.
Titus. Morlo.
Hey,
Petra,
Scott.
are you responding or are you just leaving it?
You're muted.
I'm muted? No, I'm not
No,
muted.
I'm talking.
Aaron, Petra did hear that come over. Is she responding or is she just leaving the rest of the people to deal with it?
I don't think she's there.
I don't think she's there either.
Hey, Scott. I'm
Sorry,
just gonna,
what?
Okay, my question is, Petra did hear that come over. You're not expected to respond to it, but are you wanting to respond to it?
I missed whatever I was supposed to respond to. I'm so sorry. I was in
Okay.
the restroom.
Oh, that's okay. No worries. It's just after around 5 o'clock in the evening, you suddenly hear come over the pendant. The voice of Lilith Willowwind, and she says, "You guys, I could really use some help at the north gate. We have got ogres up here."
Oh, okay. Petra says, "Ooh, sexy, be right there," and skips off.
BRB.
Be right there, G2G.
Okay.
She pickpockets one last rich person and tosses the coin.
Well, that goes without saying. Yeah, any
Well,
rich
feline
person
agility,
on her
just like
way.
schwink.
Yoink.
All right. And so, yes, you would definitely, Titus, you would definitely have time to cast that as you join up here and come to the north gate of Bright Hollow, where you witness Lilith Willowwind standing in the lane that leads north past the north gatehouse, her hand out, looking haggard, holding herself up just barely as you guys start to converge behind her, holding her hand out, concentrating on a wall of fire that stretches across the end of the path. As you arrive, you see one of the ogres being held at bay come screaming, charging through, screaming at the top of its lungs as it jumps through the column of flame up to Lilith Willowwind, raising its great club high, bringing it swinging down, and
Happening.
ooh, crashing down into the form of the wood elf wizard, and you watch her fall limp.
I
The wall
make
of
I
fire
make the
disappears.
I make the ogre redo that.
Gotcha.
Wait, am I close enough? It's got to be 30 feet. I don't know how to check the feet.
It's
Oh,
40 feet.
40 feet away.
okay.
All right. I need everyone to select your token and roll initiative. Emma, I've got you already.
Cool.
Orlo, don't forget you add a D8 to your initiative.
Yep, we will say that just goes off before, like basically as you guys start to converge together, Morlo, you watch Titus run up and he casts the spell. And is it a touch spell?
I sent it over, but it didn't send the whole thing. Hold on.
You touch a willing
Yes,
creature. Yep.
it's touched.
So you watch Scott Morlo watches as Titus runs up just as you converge. He puts his hand on your shoulder and he casts the same spell that he cast when you guys were being ambushed on the way to Bright Hollow that gave you a little pep in your step. All right.
I
have
rolled a
got
9
Pep-
and then I rolled a 9 and then a 2.
Okay. So that would take you up to an 11.
11, yeah.
Okay. And okay. So I have got Emma, I've got Titus, I've got Xanthion, I've got Morlo, I've got Petra, I've got everybody. Okay. Descending round will be 1. Okay. Top of round 1. Petra and Xanthion, who had what are your dexterities?
17.
Petra, what is Petra's dexterity?
18.
Okay. So we will have Petra edge out just by a fraction.
Okay, Petra is gonna whip out her boomerang and boomerang the troll.
What is
Or
the range on the boomerang?
Great question. 60 feet.
60 feet for short range.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead and roll a boomerang attack. All right, a 21 hits. You do not get your sneak attack damage because Lilith is unconscious, so there is no ally within 5 feet of the ogre. So that is 6 points of damage. All right, that is your attack. Anything else?
Petra's gonna make her way toward Lilith if she can.
Okay, there is currently an ogre standing right in front of Lilith.
Okay, well, she's gonna get closer, but not too close.
Okay, go ahead and move your token.
All right, we're gonna put her. Right about there. That's
Right
good.
there. All right.
Like, show her support in case Lilith, comes to.
All right, and we will put Xanthion, your land spirit is right there.
That looks suspiciously like a wolf, not a pig.
Don't make me destroy you. It is your turn.
Alright, I'm gonna bring me and my land spirit up here.
Yep.
Bonus action, Hunter's Mark, the troll. Is this humanoid or beast or?
It is a giant.
Okay. And then I'm gonna take my first attack with my longbow.
Okay, go ahead and roll. All right, a 17 hits. That is 12 piercing.
And I get to do an extra d6 for Hunter's Mark, and I'm gonna favored foe him, and I can do that after my first hit for another d4 after that.
Okay. Favored foe is concentration, and so is Hunter's Mark. So which one do you want to do?
Oh, I'll do Hunter's Mark.
Hunter's Mark? Okay. Go ahead and roll your extra d6.
And then I'm gonna do my second attack.
All right. Uh, 19 also hits, and Hunter's Mark is on every hit. Is that correct?
Yep.
All right.
2 again.
So 13 points of damage.
Damn.
All right. So Petra throws her boomerang, knocks the thing in the side of the head with the boomerang while it's kind of like shaking its head. You run up, take 2 shots with your arrows, just right into its midsection, and it just is kind of like a little bit dazed because you guys just hit it with quite an arsenal. All right, at the end of Lilith's turn, she needs to roll a death saving throw.
If somebody could get up close to it, it would be vastly appreciated.
My pig's about to charge at it. And then get promptly punted away. Nah, my pig didn't show back.
Can you okay, what does the spirit animal do thing?
Let me look at the spell real quick. It's just a beast that can like attack and stuff. I could have had it like have a fly speed, but I don't think a pig can have a fly speed. So
Titus, you're up.
What does Titus know of these creatures?
They are giant. They're almost giant kin because they're so far removed from the lineage of the giants. They're big, they're dumb, and they are basically motivated by the most basic drives: hunger, thirst, desire to procreate. They're very basic creatures.
I like.
Okay. Will charm person work on them?
What can you tip over charm person to the chat, the
I
text
think
of
it
it?
has to be a humanoid. I don't know if they technically count as humanoid.
You attempt to charm a humanoid. This is not a humanoid, it is a giant.
Alrighty. I'm gonna yell out. Does anyone have a healing potion? Does anybody?
Can
at-
Emma use her free reaction to get an item out of to give an item to someone while she's shaped?
If you're shaped, all of your stuff got absorbed into you.
Can I pull it out
No.
or let it
I-
fall? Darn.
No, you would have to end your wild shape to access your healing potions.
And if no one replies, Titus is just going to sigh very loudly and
As in reply, Emma just kind of growls.
So you say,
And,
you ask if anybody has a healing potion, and suddenly a hyena that has just come up behind you growls.
okay. Titus blinks as that is a no. And 5,
No, that was a yes.
10,
That was very much a yes.
15, 20, 25, 30, and then I am going to singularity dart on this one.
Okay, go ahead and roll the attack. "26 hits, roll damage. "13, okay. Minus 13. So as all of this bombardment is going on, Xanthion, Petra throws her boomerang. You see Xanthion come up. 2 arrows go darting into this thing's chest. And just as the 2 arrows hit into its pectoral muscles, you whip out the lodestone and spin it in your hand and shove your hand forward. And a tiny little singularity goes shooting forward and just hits right between the 2 arrows. And you actually watch as it sucks the 2 arrows into it, and the thing just kind of like clutches its chest for a moment and takes this deep breath, or it's still up, but it is hurting.
And can I try and intimidate?
I would say normally that would be an action, but because
Okay.
you guys have waylaid this thing so much, I will let you try to do it as a bonus action and just say the DC is higher because you aren't putting all of your focus into it this turn.
You should run, buddy. And I'm not moving.
All right.
And
24. Okay. All right. This guy is going to stomp 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Yeah, these things are stupid.
so I can't. I was wanting to try to protect her, but they didn't back up. So
Right. No, I get that. You're like running up to be kind of like almost standing over Lilith, but you have not quite made it to her yet.
gotcha.
And then these things
Would-
are stupid. So this
Cunning
moves me
action
back.
wouldn't let me just stand over her.
Oh, yeah, you got cunning action. Yeah, you want to be in her space?
I want to be in her space, standing over her, making sure she doesn't get hit.
Okay. So yeah, that's fine. I didn't realize that you hadn't
That's
used
fine.
your cunning action yet. Yep. Okay. So in that case, that actually does put this ogre in range of you. So it is going to take its great club.
Now, would the
Yeah, you-
intimidate hit it too?
No,
Just to
I
okay.
will say that was specifically to the one that you guys were beating the crap out of.
All right.
Because as all of that has been going on, you tell it right at about this point, I would run, buddy, right as this ogre comes charging in toward you with its great club held high. And what's your armor class?
14.
Just barely, you feel it come crashing down into you, and you take 9 points of bludgeoning damage.
I'm
And you
going to make
actually-
him redo that.
Okay. All right. So Petra and Xanthion, actually everybody would have a line of sight on this. It does this weird thing again where you've seen this happen with Titus in close proximity a couple of times, where the ogre is bringing the club down, about to smash right into Titus's head, and all of a sudden it's just kind of like the ogre like glitches, and all of a sudden it just kind of like looks like it just is having trouble, kind of like it's having trouble rendering as if it was a video game thing. It's just gonna, and then the club lands right beside Titus in the dirt.
Shoo.
Morlo, you're up.
So it was
Okay, Marlowe's gonna take off and run towards. It's 30 if I'm right here. Does that put me in range to hit the one on the
Yeah,
right?
you got a 10-foot reach. You can hit either one of them.
Yeah, so that's exactly 30. So
Does he have cleave yet?
No,
Good
but he
thing.
does have 2 attacks.
Oh, well.
So you could hit
Exactly.
both of them, or you could do 2 attacks on one of them, whichever you prefer.
I'm just gonna go for the attack on one. So I don't risk hitting Lilith. Or-
Okay.
Is that who that is? Yeah.
All right. 25 and a 21. So that is
Those are both my attacks. I'm gonna take them both on him.
both on him. Okay, so 25 damage total, both a 25 and a 21 both hit. So as this thing is glitching out, Morlo comes running in just at the edge of his range and takes a slash down with his walking axe and then back around this way, 2 big cleaves out of its chest.
Still into the same one we've all been laying into.
No, this is a different one. All right. Emma, you're up.
Emma is going to hold on. Let me pull that up again. Hyena. Emma is going to run up. That's 50. I checked earlier. That's 50 feet. She can make it. And so she just runs up to the ogre and the wounded one, and she's gonna make a bite attack. And since he's within 5 feet, it's got advantage.
Does Hyena have pack tactics?
Yes,
Excellent.
and I crit.
For 4 points of damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, a crit's a crit.
Be right
And that
back.
is
I
at-
gotta go to the bathroom.
And that is on this one, is that correct?
Yeah, the wounded one.
So basically, as you are launching yourself at it, you watch Titus pull out the lodestone and spin it and shoot this tiny little singularity at it, and you watch the
Mhm.
2 arrows suck into whatever that singularity is, and at that exact moment, you leap right in that space and just sink your teeth right into its jugular and rip its throat out, and it falls to the ground.
All right. And I still have my bonus action. I'm going to. Can yeah, I can do that. I'm gonna summon my spirit totem, and I'm
Okay.
gonna do. I'm gonna plop down the hawk right here.
Okay.
And so as she comes running in and kills the first ogre, she like a hawk sort of materializes and goes a little past her. And so here, I can tip it over. That is long. You guys have advantage to aiding you and your allies in keen sight. When a creature makes an attack roll against the target, I can use my reaction to give you somebody advantage on hitting this boy. And then everybody in a 30-foot area of the hawk, which is right here, will have advantage on perception checks.
All right, and you said you're plopping it right there.
One back, right here.
Sorry.
So it'll
one
catch Morlo.
back. There we go. And what is the area on that?
30 feet.
30 feet. Okay. And Petra is just at the cusp of it, and so is Xanthion. All right, is that your turn?
Mhm.
All right. This ogre. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, and being too far away, we'll take a javelin attack at the hyena that just killed its buddy.
What is my AC right now? Hold on.
Who's a good doggy?
The hyena's AC is 11.
All right. So as you land on the chest of the other one, a javelin comes and pierces you right in the shoulder. You take 8 points of piercing damage from your hyena total. How many hit points
She
does a
is
hyena
no
have?
longer a hyena. It only has 5.
Okay, so then
8. That's another 3 going to me.
Yep. So mark yourself down to 30. All right. So then as the hyena lands on the chest of the ogre, it gets nailed with a javelin and turns into Emma.
There is a surprised look on Titus's face to this.
Xanthion is semi-surprised.
I mean, he's not actually seen her shape. Well, no, he saw the fight when
Velociraptor.
the Velociraptor. So
Yeah.
no, he's not surprised.
Xanthion didn't.
He's
Does
not
Spirit
surprised.
Totem require your concentration?
No.
No, it does not. Okay.
Because it's not a spell.
Some abilities require concentration too.
Yeah, like
This one doesn't say anything about it, so I would assume not.
And that one is... No, if it doesn't say, it doesn't require it. And that ogre is out of the rotation. Top of round 2. Petra, you're up.
Sure. Petra's going to use her rapier this time because her boomerang is with whichever ogre she hit.
Okay. So you pull out your rapier.
Yep, she's gonna hit.
Well,
She's
you would
gonna move up to this. Sorry. Yeah, she's gonna run up to that guy. Oh,
All right. Go ahead and move your token.
there we go. Okay, and yeah, stab him.
Just stab him a little bit. All right, 14 hits, and you do have an ally within 5 feet, so that would count for sneak attack damage. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points of damage. All right, anything else? All right. Xanthion, you're up.
All right. We're gonna 1, 2, 3, 4.
I like how we've already taken down an ogre before the rest of the guards have even got here.
Move my hunter's mark to the
Or no.
troll that Morlo attacked,
No, I'm wrong.
and take my 2 attacks on that.
All right.
Can the pig give me the help action to get advantage on this attack?
No.
What?
Creative.
I can give the help action.
I don't need it.
Or well, not help, but If you need advantage, I can use my reaction to give it to you.
12 damage to the troll for the first attack.
All right.
For the second.
Okay.
Shannon, are you gonna make it to where I have to say I'm giving advantage before they roll? Or can we
No.
see the first roll and then be like, okay, well, I'll give you advantage on that?
No, to give advantage, you do have to do it before the roll.
All right.
Okay, 2 more arrows. That one is still up, but it is also looking hurt.
The pig's gonna ready in action in case troll comes towards it to attack.
Okay.
Well,
Can
the
master
the pig spirit at least.
can mastermind give advantage? I mean, help action to someone rolling death saves.
Let me look up the help action.
Wait, to help an ally in attacking a creature, the target of the attack can be. So it's only an attack. Sorry.
Okay, so
All right.
there you go. All right. And turn at a 23. Forget to add that before. Xanthion, is that your turn?
Yeah.
All right, it is your land spirit's turn. Is it doing anything?
Just coming up towards me and readying in action in case the troll comes towards us.
Okay. At the end of Lilith's turn, she has to make another death saving throw. All right. Titus, you're up.
I'm going to kneel down to Lilith and pull the healing potion out of my bag and be like, "This one was for me." Put it in her mouth and force her to drink it.
Okay.
And then as my bonus action, I'm going to look at Morlo and be like, "Kill that one," and point at the one that he was hitting before.
Okay.
So that gives you advantage on the next roll, Scott. Attack roll.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ben, and roll me 2d4.
Is
All
the
right.
javelin still in Emma?
No, when you came out of wild shape, it like plopped to the
Okay.
ground.
Does her eyes open up?
Yes.
When she does, I'm just going to kind of wink at her and go, "Welcome back."
Nice. Okay. Now, that is 8 hit points back to her. Apply changes. There we go. So, yep, her eyes flutter open. All right, it is this ogre's turn, and that ogre will take its attack against the feline that just ran it through with a rapier.
Have no idea who that could be.
None at all. What is Petra's armor class? Not telling me doesn't make it not hit automatically, so you might as well say.
You're muted.
16.
16. That is a miss. These things are rolling garbage. Okay, so you just deftly dodge out of the way of a huge club that just comes crashing down into the ground where you were standing, kicking up a pile of dust. Morlo, you're up.
Okay, so I've got advantage. So do I roll? I roll
First
twice?
attack, you've got advantage, so you roll 2d20. Yep. All right, we will take the 16 because that was first.
Yeah, because mine automatically rolls twice.
All right.
Okay, so then do I
And-
need to add a?
and then roll a third attack because those 2 rolls were both for your first attack.
Okay. Shit.
There you go. 14, so 12, 24 damage total, which is enough. You slash this one down as Petra pirouettes out of the way. That gives you just enough of an opening to lunge forward with your walking axe. 2 more swipes, and this one also drops. Okay.
All
You
right,
may-
and I'm going to take
sorry.
some movement.
Yeah.
I'm going to take some movement and get into a position to attack the next one,
Okay.
and that's my turn.
All right. Sounds good. That'd be 5, 15, 25, because stepping. All right. So you guys watch as Morlo slashes down the second ogre and then leaps up on its chest to get leverage to be able to attack the third and final ogre. Emma, you are up.
Emma steps up over, like, right on top of the corpse of the one she ripped out the jugular of, and as she does, she's taking out the what is it? Is it using my item interaction to take out the staff?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Say that again.
Okay. I mean, she takes out the staff
Mm-hmm.
of the staff of the adder, and as she does with the other hand, she's gonna cast Hex, choosing Constitution.
Okay. So this
And-
is now hexed.
Then she's going to hold on. Where is it? Yeah. And then she's going to use her own hawk to give herself advantage on the attack.
Does
And
that
I'm
burn
gonna-
your reaction?
Yeah.
Okay, reaction is gone.
And I'm gonna take a swipe at it. A 20. Did it not tip over? It's a 22.
Okay, 22 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
And then, hold on. It takes 26 piercing. That's 2 damage from the. Why is nothing tipping over?
I do not know.
That's 2 damage from the snake. I need a constitution roll at disadvantage. And then there's also another d6 from the hex.
Is it a Constitution check or a Constitution save? Because hex does
Constitution
not.
save.
Okay, so hex does not apply. It only applies on
It-
Constitution checks.
Oh, okay.
All right. So 2 points of damage from the attack. A Constitution save.
Yeah.
It rolled an 11. What's the spell? What's the save DC?
Constitution save 15.
All right, so it fails.
So that's 6, 7, and then another 3d6. $11.
Okay. So that is
11,
another
17, 18, 19 damage.
Okay. And what are the damage types on this?
6 of it is necrotic, that 11 is poison, and then the first 2 were piercing.
Okay, got it. All right, is that your turn?
Yeah.
All right. All right. In response to the adder attack, the ogre leans down into your face and screams and raises the great club up over its head and brings it crashing down. What is your armor class?
14.
14. It just hits. You take 14 points of bludgeoning damage as this thing just tees off on Emma.
I just love Emma running up, pulling out the jugular of one, and then stepping onto the corpse as she's whacked. And
Yep. All right, top of round 3. Petra,
then she
you
just
are
gets
up.
smooshed.
Does Emma look bad off?
Yeah.
She looks like she looks like she's taken some punishment. She does not look like she is on the verge of collapse.
Can I make the ogre have to redo that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's do that.
Is that your last one for the day?
Yeah, that's the last one for the day.
Is that a wizard thing?
It's a Titus thing.
Ben,
Yes.
can you look at the ability and
You have to take whatever happens.
Did you crit?
Did you?
it crit?
Oh, great. So how much more damage am I taking?
So you guys watch the thing. It happens again as this ogre like seemingly glitches out, and what had been more of a glancing blow off of the shoulder ends up crashing down right in the middle of Emma's head. You take, instead of 14 points of bludgeoning damage, you take 22 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay, hold on. What's the
So that's an
difference of
additional
that?
8 points of damage.
Titus is
I'm
going to
still
do. Titus is going to go. Ooh, it was meant to be. It was meant to be.
Emma just kind of.
I just picture the glitch, and then all of a sudden, fuck.
It's almost as funny as when Xantheon hit her with a what was that spell? Jeez.
Yeah, with protection from good and evil.
Or when what was it? It was Hail of Thorns.
Oh yeah.
Right. I've forgotten about that.
When you tried to thwack the zombies and Emma was just standing there.
Well, I tried, Isaac. I'm sorry.
Petra, you're up.
Oh no, I'm having fun. I'm gonna reload.
We'll be like,
Oh,
Faye
boy,
must be
indeed,
bad
Beyond.
luck.
Petra. Petra's gonna go ahead and use her rapier again.
All right, you will need to get into position, so go ahead and position yourself.
Well, yeah,
But
there you go.
I
actually,
think you're a little too close.
You're
Yeah.
in
No, hold on.
control.
I'm going to move you down one. You will need to be right there, and it will be right there.
Perfect. Yeah, that's where I meant to go.
So you come jumping up and thrust forward with your rapier, and just actually, as it brings the club down, you stab and actually go through its arm because you were aiming for where it was, and then as it comes crashing down, you just like, well, that didn't work.
Question: do you get your reaction back at the beginning or end of your turn?
At the beginning of your
Okay.
turn. Xantheon, you are up. Just so you know from where you are positioned right now, because both Petra and Emma are standing up on the corpse of another ogre, and then you have Titus between those two and yourself. I am going to say this thing has half cover.
If I move to right here, do I have?
Yep, you'd be good. You would be good.
All right, and then I'm gonna move my hunter's mark to that troll.
Okay.
Make my 2 attacks. Let me just
Hunter's mark moves. That is a bonus action, correct?
Yeah, it's a bonus action. Then longbow.
Okay, 21 hits. Go ahead and roll your extra d6.
1.
So that's 7 points of damage.
And then I'm gonna take another attack.
And a 14 hits. 12. Go ahead and roll your extra d6.
Another 1.
All right.
And then for my land spirit, he's gonna run up
It's a pig.
and just attack the
Go for the
Oh.
go for the ankles.
Do you
Oh.
have the stats for that?
Yeah, I have the stats for it.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
God.
What? I don't have like what do I roll?
You don't have the like
Do
you
I-
don't have it in your like on your sidebar on your character sheet.
No, I don't.
Yeah, it
Okay,
should
that's
be,
okay.
like,
I
in
can-
the spell.
Do I just roll its dex?
No, it has a maul attack. It is actually, yeah, you roll your spell attack modifier to hit.
Okay.
All right, and just so I know, what level spell are you casting it at?
Second.
Second, so it just gets one attack. Okay, 22 hits, so it's 1d8 plus 4 plus 2. Okay, so roll a d8 and add 6 to it.
So this is 1d8 plus 4. So 7 more damage.
And then another additional plus 2, because it's 1d8 plus 4 plus the spell's level. So that would be 9, correct?
No, just 7. It's plus 4 plus 2, right?
Yeah, 1d8 plus 4 plus 2.
Yeah, this is just plus 4, so it's just 7 damage on 9.
Oh, you rolled a 5. Got it. Okay, so another 7 points of damage. Emma, you as you sink the teeth of your staff adder into this thing, you see this adorable little semi-corporeal glowing wolf spirit come running up beside you and
Pig.
chunk out of this thing's thigh.
It's a pig spirit.
Oh, it's a pig. That's right. That's right. It's a big pig. It's a big
surrounding a pig in like spectral armor.
Oh my god, that is amazing.
And the thing inside of the pig is carrying a short sword in its mouth.
Emma is gonna protect this damn pig with her life.
Okay, so that's a land spirit's turn. Lilith is now up. And she actually will. I'm moving you out of the way just a second, Titus, because Lilith is going to stand up because she is out of range.
Can I speak to her?
Yeah, what do you want to say? Well, you said welcome back.
Who would send these? I'm looking at her and go, who would send these?
And she just looks at you and says, "Oh, I doubt they're sent. We have problems with these things. Watch out."
Watch out.
I'm sure she's doing something, and I watch out.
All right. And is that what is this? Is this a spell attack? Oh, no, it's a dexterity save. Hold on. And that is a 2. So you watch as Lilith gets to her feet and is like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to do it from this angle. And she starts walking around this way, and she twirls her hands like this and then throws forward, and you see this glowing ball spring into existence and shoot forward. And for just a second, those of you who have an passive arcana of 13 or higher think she's cast fireball, which doesn't make good for you, but you watch as instead this blast of acid comes out of her hands and shoots right into the chest of this thing and just goes, and you see the ogre just take the brunt of it right in the chest and just doubles over in pain, and you watch as the chest cavity of this thing just melts until there is just a gaping hole from the front of its chest all the way back to its shoulders. And it just like stands there for a second with just an absolute empty cavity of a chest, and then it just falls down. Huh. Lilith looks over at you guys. Thank you.
As it happens, Emma just kind of like steps back a little bit so it doesn't fucking crush her.
Petra applauds, of course. A little golf clap.
I appreciate your quickness in responding, and looks over at you, Petra, and says, I especially appreciate you coming. You're not even getting paid for this.
Oh, don't worry. I'll assure myself that I get paid for this.
Fair enough. Then she looks over at you, Titus, and she says, oh, I doubt that there would probably be any nefarious purposes up to these things. We have problems with them trying to crash the fest from time to time.
Emma
just
reaches
joined.
in her bag and grabs out a healing potion and passes it to Titus.
Hi, Christian!
And
Welcome!
then Titus, he goes, where the hell is Felix? Isn't he supposed to be helping us?
He's been awfully quiet.
All right, hold up. Okay. So, Felix.
You want me to narrate?
Yep.
What's the setting?
All right.
Where are we?
So, about 5, maybe 10 minutes ago, you heard Lilith Willowwind's voice come over the sending stones during your shift on duty, saying, I could really use some help at the North Gatehouse. We've got ogres up here. And you are responding to that.
So you guys, oh, hang on a sec. I probably should pull up the actual battle map and get into the game. You know, that would be good.
Yeah, just maybe.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
That pig now.
Let me see here.
She is no longer concentrating.
So Felix walks up,
She does.
already disheveled, sword in one hand, staff in the other. For 5 minutes. And you look, and Felix does have a little bit of blood on the end of his sword. Fuck. Here we go. And let me click on my token. My +1 initiative.
The last one just died.
Yeah, the last one just died.
Oh,
As you come walking up, actually, you
I'm
watch,
ready.
you're getting like Felix is getting like all geared up, ready to jump into the fray, and you watch Lilith Willowwind strafe this way, stepping over this wall and getting a good line of sight, and she spins her hands, and this little bead comes into existence and goes shooting forward, and for just a moment, you think she's cast Fireball. Which would be bad. But it actually goes and splashes up just north of the creature, and a blast of acid comes shooting over it and actually burrows through its chest and basically dissolves its chest cavity and goes falling down to the ground.
And just as that, just as like it falls and Ibba steps back, she like pulls a health potion out of her bag and hands it to Titus because he was whining about him.
You're muted.
Yeah, you're muted, Dad.
Titus doesn't take it. He's just, thank you.
I make these
Everyone goes
things
in
for you
and
guys.
the arrows.
Take the damn potion.
All right. A little sass.
Felix just staring. I need a drink. Anyone else need a drink?
I always need a drink. You're a little late to the party, darling.
I swear to
Does the blood on
Lilith,
his sword look
Lilith!
fresh?
why in the name of the Tenet of Two do you allow so many people to conjure demons in this goddamn party?
I doubt that
ogres?
it's Lilith's fault, Felix, darling. Let's go have a drink. You're too uptight.
Lilith comes down.
Obviously.
I'm not blaming you, Lilith. I'm just wondering why the fuck so many people think it's okay to summon demons. Prestidigitations the blood off, keeps the grime and the shit all over his face. His
Just the blood.
hair just sort of frazzled. I need a drink. Let's go, Petra. Come on.
No, if
Well,
you,
when Felix summons me, we all know we're in trouble. Let's go,
Lilith.
Felix.
Lilith just is like, well, I mean, you're technically on duty, but if you want to have a drink, that's entirely up to you.
I am not technically on duty.
Duty?
So let's go.
All right. Lilith says, okay. Well, you are on duty. As soon as the custodians are ready for you at the tryst, you will receive a message over this. And she holds up the messaging pendant. Okay.
And
Thank you. Also, thank you, Felix. I'm sorry that you had to deal with that, but I also appreciate you responding to my distress call. Thanks, all of you. Titus, and she walks back up to you, Ben. She's like, we have problems with these things from time to time. Most of them are all up.
While she's talking, I'm casting
Yeah.
Detect Magic and searching the bodies.
Okay.
Titus, rude. Someone's talking to you.
Well, I mean that's what I was doing as she was coming up to me.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no worries.
Xanthion dismisses the spirit and picks up the pig and just starts carrying it around in his arms.
All right. Let me take a little quick look. And she just says, "We have problems with these things from time to time. Mostly they stay up by the Savarin marshes by Albright, but every now and then they'll wander down this way. It's not unusual."
I'm sure they just followed some of the people that have came from that direction.
Well, they know that we typically have booze and women, and those are two things that ogres like very much. So,
well, they almost had you.
Just
Yeah.
ogres?
she looks over her shoulder. What did you say? I'm sorry, Aaron, I didn't catch that.
Oh, she said just ogres like booze and women?
No, but ogres tend to be a little bit more aggressive in trying to take them.
Just a little.
I mean, it's a matter of degree. I'll give you that.
Emma steps up onto the corpse of the one that was killed with acid, and is just looking at it, seeing how much damage the acid did. Like just a cold, sort of detached.
Yep. And it annihilated this thing. Like, I mean, the splash just absolutely took down its entire rib cage. Basically, you can see, like, looking into its chest, you can see its spinal column. Like, all of the organs and everything are just dissolved.
Emma, are you okay?
Yeah.
I hope this doesn't awaken anything in you.
She steps down over to its mouth. Is its mouth open?
Oh no.
Yes.
She's gonna grab a tusk and try and break it free.
Roll me a strength check.
Can Xanthion help?
Can I do Well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we'd say it's athletics, but I don't think that's any different for Emma. 15. Yeah, you can eventually pry it out. I mean, the acid kind of did some of the help for you.
Mm-hmm.
Can Xanthion skin these?
Ogre hide isn't particularly valuable, just because they're not particularly tough creatures. They're pretty easy to hit. It's
That's
more
not
that
bad.
just that they can absorb quite a bit of damage,
I
Well-
still want to skin one of them.
just
Well-
out of malice.
Before he starts skinning them, does Detect
Yes.
Magic see anything, or do I find anything?
Nothing magical. Are you searching?
Yes.
Roll me an investigation check. All right. Across the three of them, they each have their great clubs. They each have, except for the one that was dissolved by acid, they each have just a very rough suit of hide armor, which is basically just animal skins that have been tanned looks like over a fire. They do each have a pouch by their side that has a few knickknacks, and mostly it's just edible animals and stuff like that. But you do, across the three of them, find the equivalent of 38 gold pieces among various coins. And one of them has a suit of leather armor, a leather breastplate in its pouch. Just looks like it's saved as a memento of something. Not magical, but just a suit of leather armor.
I lay it all out,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of, here's the gold, here's this, and if nobody takes anything, I gather it up.
Out of the knickknacks, is there anything that sticks out?
There's not really knickknacks. This is mostly like there's some like teeth, some bones, some partially eaten limbs of various creatures. It's just kind of like anything interesting that they found that they shoved in there, or just like a snack for later. There are a couple of like well-polished rocks that are interesting looking, but nothing special.
Mm-hmm. Emma's not
Pet-
interested in any of it.
Petra's going to go ahead and take the bones in case she needs them to intimidate someone later.
I'm going to add the gold and the armor to my inventory.
Okay.
Xanthion wants to go find carrots for his pig.
Wants to go find
Get
what?
a pig.
Carrots for the pig.
Okay.
And just pick the pig and carry it with him.
Yes. Xanthion has the greased pig.
Felix is gonna. Is that?
Yes.
That's the.
Yes, it is.
Oh, it also is holding a short sword in its mouth.
Yes,
The
it
blade
is.
sticking out sideways.
So like disenchanted.
Yes. Very much so.
Felix just looks and goes, I'm away for 15 minutes.
And as
15 minutes.
As you were walking away, you would have just seen the spectral form of the beast spirit that is in the shape of a pig come off of it.
Okay.
Am I already drunk?
And Emma just puts the tooth in her bag and like gives the staff a shake and mutters a word and it turns back to wood. And puts it in her bag too.
Oh, did Emma actually use the staff of the adder?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
She did hex and then did staff of the adder, also using her hawk totem to give her advantage on the attack.
Ooh, dirty.
How long is it until we need to be up on that hill?
Well, you know that it starts at around 6, and they said they would call you when they were ready for you.
All right. Well, I'm going to slowly make my way back to my post, wherever that was. I don't know.
He
Okay.
said it's around 5. The fight took a little bit, so it's probably 5:30.
5:15,
we-
5:30.
okay.
Yeah.
Now, does your all's in your world, does the coins differ from country to country?
There is a standard currency of Trirexia.
Okay.
So all three kingdoms mint the same coin, and each of them have a mark somewhere on the coin to say where they were minted, but the design is the same. Much like the mint symbol on US coins, somewhere on the coin it's going to have a small symbol that says whether it was minted in Parasus, Anmar, or Portain.
Now, if the Dragonborn coin, does it look different?
Yes.
Oh, I'm going to go make my way to where I was, and I'm going to examine this gold and this armor.
All of this gold is Trirexian.
Okay.
And the armor is very plain. You would assume with your knowledge of ogres, with your studies, probably this was a pesky foe that has just kept the armor of for a token, like a trophy. That would be the most reasonable explanation. All right. So the damage or the danger put behind you. Is there anything else anybody is wanting to do besides returning to duty?
Getting a quick drink.
Yep. I said duty.
Petra is just drinking because she has no duty.
Xanthion's getting carrots.
Emma's gonna stop by the tavern and get her task. Get her flask filled with cider before she goes back to Pillar's Row.
Okay. And around this time, you do notice that as you are returning back to your posts, that the grand symposium in the town square has now at this point broken up, and people are starting to spread out through the town to go about an evening of revelry now that the day of symposiums has been completed, and the 8 custodians head back up the hill toward Talabayard.
Petra would like to follow the custodians if she's in the general area and can see them leave.
You can go to catch up with them. Yeah. I mean, especially you're definitely agile enough.
She's gonna skip ahead and go catch up with them.
All right. Yeah. So you catch up with them, and they all notice your approach and just kind of look over at you.
Hello, where are we headed for the evening of debauchery and merriment?
Numenot says, well, I don't know about my friends, but I'm just wiped. I think I'm going to turn in for the evening.
That is quite a shame because you're going to miss out on a lot. You should stay up.
I don't know. The whole thing strikes me as a bit of a bore.
Oof, my heart. I thought I was more interesting than that. But okay, well, you'll be missing out. But good morrow.
And Dylan just looks over at you and just kind of shakes his head, rolls his eyes. We're gonna go have some drinks.
Perfect. You had me at drinks. Let's go.
Let us get a little bit of formal work out of the way, and then I will let you know when the drinks are poured.
Okay, I'll just follow you to wherever you're going and then not listen in on whatever you're talking about. And then I'll join you whenever you're done talking about whatever you're talking about and whatever I'm not listening in on. Have fun.
And they walk up to the gate that separates the rest of the path that leads up to the house on the hill. And one by one, you're watching as they had been walking together kind of as a group. And then as they approach this gate, they get single file and kind of just like file into single file. Walk up to this gate, it opens. One of them walks through, it closes.
Oh no.
Next one opens, they walk through, it closes. Dylan holds back, and he's back in the back with you. As they walk up, they walk up, they walk up. The Dragonborn goes through, the red-haired human goes through, the pink-skinned tiefling goes through, the dark-skinned human goes through, and all 8 of them file through one by one as the gate opens. And they're like, well, you're cute as a button, you know that? And he boops your snoot.
Well, I mean, of course I know that.
I know.
I mean, you're gonna make me wait out here like a commoner?
I am gonna make you wait out here like a commoner.
Okay, well, I mean, I wait for no one, but I guess you may be worth it, so okay, fine.
Heart longs for our next embrace.
I've heard that before. Okay,
He just
bye.
walks backward through the gate as it opens and then closes, and then he pivots and walks up the rest of the way to the hill.
Yeah, very smooth. Okay, yeah.
All right.
Shannon,
Yes.
could Emma have gotten a short rest, just chilling on the top of the hill?
Yes.
That'll
We will
count.
definitely say that a short rest was a possibility. Now, you wouldn't have had a short rest since the ogre fight, but up on the roof, you said, right?
No, I mean, I meant since the ogre fight.
Oh, okay. Well, you are in the process, but about 45 minutes into what would be constituting a short rest, unless anybody has anything else that they are wanting to do, you hear the voice of Lilith Willowwind come over your messaging pendants and say, the custodians are ready to speak to you.
Antion takes his pig and heads to the place. Pig's coming with him everywhere.
All right. Where's everybody heading?
To the gate.
All right.
I would like to add the pig still has all the beads.
Heading to where I need to be and telling Ned to meet me there.
It was we met on which hill was it for the thing?
If you zoom all the way out, if you
Yeah.
walk past Peddler's Row, this is the walkway that leads up to the house.
Okay.
Okay.
Emma's pretty close to it.
Yep.
She's gonna slide down and start walking, taking her time.
Okay.
I'm just gonna give a response on the pendant and be like, I'll be there. And could light travel of 15 minutes.
Nice.
Felix snagged an extra bottle of wine.
Could light travel take 15 minutes and Emma can get a short rest?
No, you do not complete a
Damn.
short rest. All right. So you all gathered together at the gate, the same gate, Aaron, that you were just at about 45 minutes before. And Lilith Willowwind meets you there, standing outside of the gate. He's like, okay, I'll lead you in. And she turns and looks up at the gate, holds her hand up, palm out. And the gate opens. She
Just
leads
her
you through.
palm, no magical lighting or anything.
Nope. She just holds her palm out, and the gate opens.
Touch ID.
Petra says, "Are you sure there's no more danger that I need to save you from, or, I mean, you're okay and everything? Any other heroic acts?"
I've got a bit of a headache, to be honest with you.
I mean, well, Xanthion will do that to you, so I don't know how I can cure that, but I would suggest, maybe don't spend time with him anymore, and that will cure you pretty quickly of your headache.
I just imagine
Just
Xanthion.
Xanthion with a pick under his
I'm
arm,
right.
offended.
What'd you say, Logan?
Xanthion just looks fully offended with the pig under his arm.
Petra winks at him and says, "Just kidding. He's a little cutie. I approve of whatever you two are doing or are not doing. But if he doesn't satisfy you, I mean, there's plenty of other people in this team that are great for that. I mean, not to specify or anything, but
We are Petra in the backups, though.
we are Petra in the backups. That's true. Xanthion hit the nail on the head.
Oh, that's a catchy name.
It really is. None of the rest of them agree with me, but I think it's great.
As Emma steps through the gate, she just reaffirms her appearance and makes sure she's back to where the only things that weren't quite human were the slight tips and the little bit of canines on her.
Okay. And Lilith leads you up the pathway to the house on the hill. Which is all right.
Game.
Well, it's never a good idea to leave the custodians waiting.
I don't like the fact that Fog of War is on. That is alarming, actually.
Before we start this, Xanthion's gonna ask what we should name the pig.
Frank.
Peter Porker.
Peter.
I say spider pig.
PP for
Spider.
short.
Peter
PP?
Porker.
All right.
PP.
And Lilith just says, "All right,
For
I will lead
adults.
you. Please follow me, and please don't touch anything."
Not even
Anything?
the floor?
Xanthion is just holding his pig with 2 hands so he doesn't touch anything.
I love it.
Emma's like walking beside Xanthion, petting the pig.
All right. And she makes her way in.
Felix follows.
Says, "This way, please. This way."
Petra follows behind Felix, holding onto his shoulders, wary, like a go to the house, wary of what's ahead.
All right. Move you guys up there. And she leads you through the foyer into the kitchen and down the stairs.
We're gonna get thrown into the basement and kidnapped, guys.
I have a bad feeling about basements after Sheridan.
And yes, in much the same way. Hold on just one second. Let me move all of you guys down there.
Body parts everywhere, just strewn about the place. Great.
Going on.
I actually dislike the fact that Fog of War is on.
Xanthion is,
Just
like,
fun
trying to have
fact.
a panic attack, so he's like petting his emotional support pig.
I'm gonna put you guys closer together here.
Emotional support pig.
Yes. PP's an emotional support pig.
Whoa, I was like, what's going on?
What? Why? Where are we?
In the basement.
Oh,
In the basement.
I don't like that
But he's
actually.
chained up to the wall.
And she's like, "All right,
Try-
this way, everyone, this way."
Trying to follow this on the stream, Shannon, is a mess.
Okay.
All right.
He
Okay.
does not care.
I think I know
And she
what's
leads you
happening now.
over into a room full of wine barrels.
I have
Not
to move me. I
raise too many questions, but
ah
What's up, Ben?
nothing.
not to raise too many questions, but weren't there supposed to be custodians here?
And she walks up to the wall.
Secrets.
And she, oh, Lord, which one is it? Why do they always have to be so cloak and dagger about it? Jabs her finger into one of the stones,
And the basement explodes.
and a door opens.
Yeah, I don't like that cave, actually. It looks a lot like the cave in
From
Sheridan.
Really, I just want you that we just
We're just about to be
saved your
murdered.
life. Really knows something nefarious.
I
That's
love
not
the
a-
helicopter that Petra has turned into.
And I'm super evil.
Do the rest of you follow?
I
Yep.
cannot see anything.
Petra
Actually.
wrote
Oh, I found it.
states that we're all in danger, and she.
Cool.
Anthony's gonna put his pig on the ground. Ready as
Alright.
Titus is just taking up the rear.
Oh,
Anthony just kind of holds his bow in his hand and doesn't do anything else.
All right.
Eva
So
is aptly avoiding stepping inside that circle.
as is Felix. Felix is not moving from the mouth of the cave.
She goes inside,
Petra
but she's not going
says-
into the circle. She goes inside, but she's not going into the circle.
Petra says, "Okay, everybody, just so we're clear, I'm only doing what she wants to do because she's really pretty. So you're only because you're Sims as well. I just wanted to make that clear for everybody. If anybody opposes this, please speak now because otherwise, I follow the pretty one."
Dantheon gets uncomfortably close to the glowing circle.
Okay. So Lilith walks in, and you guys see in this larger chamber a series of concentric circles going down amphitheater style, down to the bottom where there is a glowing runic circle. Inside of that runic circle, there is a table with 8 chairs, and around each of those chairs sits one of the custodians. And
Look familiar from anything?
they all look up, and they look up as you enter, and they say, "Oh, well, the guest of the hour," Dylan says as he stands up. And Dylan walks up to you, Petra, and he just says, "Hello, dear. I missed you."
Damn it! I was deceived by one pretty face. You got me. Okay, you've earned this. What do I have to do? Damn it. Trick that one face. Whose soul? I mean, yeah, I'll sell my soul to whoever. What I get it. I'm in. Whatever.
All right. And as you get over into that side of the room, Emma, the dwarf, the big broad dwarf, looks over at you and says, "Little girl, please proceed no further. That is off limits."
Can
She
Xanthion send
just
the pig-
nods.
Can Xanthion send the pig and cast beast sense?
Yeah, sure. If you want to try it.
And he's gonna send the pig and just be like, just kind of walk in there and just kind of scoot him along.
All right. Hold on one second.
Morlo, would you please push Felix into the room?
Shove him.
Shoulder checking into the room.
Morlo could try to nudge him in there, yes.
And you do, and Felix just whips back around. Ugh. Sorry. My apologies.
And you see Dylan stand up, and he says, No, please, friends, join. Come in. Be our guests.
Xanthion,
Morlo, that was for you to go to when you pushed Felix, please. He's probably not listening.
Petra says, wait, so this isn't a trap? Are we gonna die? We're not dying? I need clarification here.
And the pink-skinned tiefling says, "Oh, I certainly hope not. I really would hate to die before I have a chance to have a drink after this."
Emma
Oh, thank
looks
goodness. Okay.
supremely uncomfortable.
Arcane
We
check.
have a lot of bad luck beforehand, so I just had to make sure. Okay, we're good, everybody. Let's party.
God.
Yeah, Aaron, go back and watch how you've sounded through this whole thing. It'd be
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. What did I
It's
do?
not your fault.
No, it's not you.
It's not your fault.
Oh,
But you do
Lord.
kind of sound like a cat at times.
You sound like a helicopter.
What?
Basement. I want to see how many people are in your live stream.
You sound like a
Thanks,
helicopter that
everybody.
barely knows English, and that's a compliment.
All right.
I feel like that's not a compliment, but okay, thanks.
It definitely seems
I'll
like
take
it seems like your internet is getting worse as we go along.
I did, yeah.
All right. So,
Arcane check.
That room.
what do you want to check?
The circle.
Okay, go ahead and roll me Arcana.
I do the same actually.
Do the room. What do the?
Yeah.
Can you just read the runes?
Fuck.
Shannon.
All right, an 8.
can I do
Sorry,
the
Seth.
same?
Yeah, you're proficient. Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check.
Can Xanthion just see what the runes? See if he knows what the runes say.
It is not a language that you understand. Uh, 16. With a 16, you are fairly certain that whatever this circle does is of a nature of abjuration. That's the read you're getting on it.
Okay.
I bet it's an uber protect evil and good. It was gonna step inside and die immediately.
Does Xanthion see anything in that room from the pig?
So, you're actually trying to send the pig in over here?
Yeah.
All right, so they watch you put the pig down. The pig starts going over there, and
Emma's just gonna pick the pig up.
the dwarf looks at the pig, looks over at you, Xanthion, looks over at the pig, reaches on its back, and starts pulling one of the swords out of its sheath.
Xanthion whistles for the pig to come back.
If the pig gets close to Emma, Emma just picks up the pig.
Before it gets close enough for you to pick up, Xanthion whistles for the pig. Go ahead and roll me an animal handling, because you are not particularly, you have not trained this pig, you've just befriended it. Yeah, 24. It comes trotting back over, and actually, kind of like as the closer it gets to you, the more the sword goes back into the sheath on the dwarf's back.
How small is the pig? Can Xanthion just sit it on his head?
That's a little too big to sit on its head. You could have it over your shoulder.
Yeah, he's just gonna have it on his shoulder, like a cat.
And just chuckling. Dylan takes the lead and says, well, thank you all for joining us. This is just a little private get together that we like to have after a long day of symposiums, for us to just sit and chat as friends about subjects that might be a little more sensitive than what needs to be discussed in the open.
Emma steps up beside Felix and just sort of whispers like, "This looks a lot more like a coven than would like it to. Just sort of noting her discomfort.
Yes. It looks interesting. Sense abjuration. Does that ring any bells to you?
Can I hear that?
Roll me a perception check. They are trying to whisper. Contest it with a stealth check from Felix, you and Felix and
I
Emma.
don't hear a thing.
Well, it depends. I mean,
All right.
Roll
And-
one.
this will be actually. I want this to be a stealth check, modified by dexterity. So, what is your dexterity modifier, Felix?
+1.
Okay, so that is the same. And what is Emma's dexterity?
Stealth
sorry,
is-
wisdom,
Stealth is
wisdom.
already. Oh,
Sorry, I want to
Wait,
modify by
wisdom?
It's the
wisdom. I'm
same.
sorry.
It's the same
What is
regardless.
wisdom?
It should be the same for me too. Yeah.
Okay.
Same.
All right. So actually, you do hear Felix say that he senses abjuration.
Will that let me roll an Arcana again?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
could I do the
17.
same actually?
Yeah, go ahead.
Come on. Come on. Ah, damn.
Okay. And actually, at about this point, the red-haired human female stands up and says, "That's correct. You do sense abjuration. Please, what can we do to put you more at ease?"
What kind of abjuration?
Off the abjuration.
And at this point, the Uxin Pavel, the Dragonborn,
I
just
said,
said,
"Could buy us a bunch of."
What are you protecting from?
well, from eavesdropping. Everything that we say in this room, everything that we communicate to each other in confidence, can go no further than this room. We cannot be scryed on. We cannot be eavesdropped on. There can be no magical senses created in the bounds of this area. We are in private, more in private than most of us have probably ever been before. This is a safe place, a place for us to discuss freely. Please, if you would like, to put you at ease, feel free to detect. You will find that it is a simple abjuration, though very powerful.
What
Patrick
matters do you
says
have to discuss that are this important? That require these. What's the word? Precautions.
Options. That was freaky.
Dylan Fiasco just says, yeah, some pretty heady topics, kid.
So Felix is going to. All right, let's just get down to brass tacks and get done with this. And he just sort of like, yeah,
Emma does the same.
steps across the bounds.
It's like, and actually, the tiefling kind of laughs and is like, "Oh, honey, you were under this thing's protection before you even got into this room."
Pardon me for not liking spell circles all that much. Personal preference. But anyway. So what is the topic at hand first?
While they're talking, I am going to be ritually casting Detect Magic.
Okay. So you're off in the corner casting Detect Magic out of your
Just
spellbook.
right where I'm at.
Lilith turns and leaves.
I just realized I have still yet to try and
Hi,
lie.
honey.
I wink at Lilith again as she leaves.
Yep. And Dylan Fiasco says, "Well, originally, we wanted to talk to you because you were among the first to encounter the Elmswain outbreak. Subsequently,"
Never mind.
and he just looks over at you, Emma. This is subsequently some things were brought to our attention by Keeper Willowwind about some goings on that affect you that are also matters we've been dealing with. Uxin Pavel at this point sits up and says, as Lord Octavius and I were discussing, several instances of unusual occurrences have been going on. Let me begin at the beginning. We are experiencing widespread undead incursions, much more widespread than just Elmswain. This seems to be calculated, targeted. And as I understand it, you might have some experience with what we are trying to uncover.
Huh. Well, if I may speak in such august company.
Oh, please speak in such august company.
In Elmswain, we dealt with rogue shadows. And then the zombies. Well, the afflicted, whatever they are. That's how we met Emma and realized her connection to the Feywild. What was that little what was that little creature that was your friend? Or is your friend? I apologize.
Emma just sort of
Tinky?
hold on. She sort of stops and says, "Hold on. How powerful would a being have to be to pierce this protection?"
Keepers or the custodians kind of look around at each other and Dylan just says, I mean, pretty powerful, kid. Why? What you got?
Felix chimes in, powerful enough to stop the new king of the Winter Court.
And Numenot, Hyacinth, who has been quiet and looking very bored up to this point, just kind of perks up a little bit, raises his head up from almost looking like he's taking a nap and says, oh, well, that's interesting.
Emma, you're the first-hand experiencer here.
Felix, oh my word, you got something interesting enough to intrigue Numenot, and that's saying something. Congratulations. I'm very proud of you.
Emma sort of looks down at the dark shard amulet and is like, I'm kind of stuck in a deal.
Okay.
Would
I just go ahead and say his name? He knows that you're going to try and find allies, and if he can't hear us, perfect. If he can, he would assume you would go to the custodians anyway. They're far more powerful than us. Looks over at Dylan. Isn't that right, Mr. Planeshift?
Mailoff is my patron.
There it is.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you just see Dylan's eyes go wide for just a second as you say Mr. Planeshift. Like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
He left it
I knew there was something I forgot to do today. Damn it.
Oh my god.
And next to him, the tiefling sitting next to him just says, what did you do? No,
Felix
What didn't you do?
Felix chimes in. That's a gold for reminding you.
Now that's fair.
At
He
least
flips you a
10.
gold piece.
Catches it. You can hire me as a secretary if you'd like. I'm really good with numbers.
You're gonna have to ask for more gold next time, though.
At this point, the Dragonborn, Uxin Pavley, just says, if I may, I believe that the scope of this has far exceeded simply the zombies that we are experiencing. I know that you, Lord Octavius, had several questions. And about at this point, you're done ritual casting, because it actually has been about 10 minutes. It seems that there are several variables in play. And it all does seem to be connected somehow to this. And he holds up the book from the tomb of Neomachius.
Oh yeah, we've been there.
Lord Pavel, if I may, counsel, how do I address you? Trist?
Please, just call me Uxin.
Uxin. So you are correct. This does go further. Did Lilith tell you at all about our conversation that I had with her?
And at this point, Dylan actually interjects and says, Lilith told us all about your conversation.
Oh, wait, Lilith didn't tell me about your conversation. What happened?
The
Felix,
conversation
what
that was on. I was having a conversation with my sponsor in the astral plane. And I might have seen firsthand whatever is causing this. I'm not certain. It seemed far and away outside of my experience or pretty much anyone else's experience in this plane. It was a dark, writhing mass floating in the astral sea, bad enough to where my sponsor had to brandish a weapon and made claims of it beating back the Celestials. So whatever this thing is working from outside through individuals, possibly individuals like the creature that we faced in the tomb of Neomachius.
Sounds like fun. So when do we get started kicking its ass?
This entire session has sounded like Petra is on Quaaludes.
Well, he's not denying it.
They all look around at each other. And at this point, actually, Numenot Hyacinth actually just stretches back in his chair and reaches up and stretches. And I was like, and from across the table, the tiefling just says, you know what, Numenot, you really put the dick in Odic Fest.
At this point, is it possible with prestidigitation to mimic a sound I've heard?
Sure.
Can I mimic the sound that I heard in the astral sea?
Yeah, absolutely. I would allow that. It's very faint, so you would have to be right up on them, but you are.
So Felix just sort of, everyone just please be quiet. And
What'd you say?
opens his hand and begins playing the noise that he heard in the astral sea. Anyway, this week's sponsor, guys, is
This
It's
awkward,
very pretty, Felix. I'm very proud of you. You
this
must have
awkward
practiced a
pause
long
brought to you
time.
by
Grammarly.
Masterclass. Actually, it's Raid Shadow Legends. Sorry, guys.
DoorDash.
I probably legally shouldn't say that, so I don't get
Shannon,
kicked off
Messenger.
Twitch.
Oh, true.
Oh, I don't like that.
Oh,
Actually.
no. Wait.
Fun fact: I actually dislike that.
Oh God! Wait, hold up. Can we rewind? Oh dear.
Shannon,
Yes.
Oh no.
Does this sound like anything Emma ever would have heard in the Feywild?
Oh god.
No.
I'm anxious.
Has Titus heard this before?
No.
Has PP ever heard this?
Aaron, are you okay?
Any of us ever heard this before?
They've heard this
And
sound.
at this point, Titus and Petra, you would be the first to notice that there is somebody else entering the chamber because they are actually standing between you. You see this gentleman extremely well dressed in a breastplate and a cloak. And on the breastplate,
Hold on. Aaron, are you okay? You sure?
Petra, okay?
You do not look okay.
She is unwell.
Just keep going. Oh my god, my heart can't take this anymore.
on this man's breastplate, there is an embossed symbol. The man himself is tall, about 6'5", very lean, very athletic looking. Clothing is very nice, but not of an indication of any royal or noble family. Just the look of somebody well put together. Can you please turn that down, buddy? Very pale, with light blonde hair that comes down to his shoulders. Very stern looking, with a sword by his left hip in a sheath. And he steps into the room and, looking at you, Titus, side eye, and then at you, Petra, also side eye, steps past you with a nod, not discourteous, but not knowing who you are, steps forward and says, "I came as soon as you called me." And the Uxan Pavel stands up and says, "Ah, yes. Lord Octavius, this is the person that I was speaking of. May I introduce?" And
I
the
take my
gentleman-
hand off my pistol,
Mhm.
and then I start rummaging for the scorpion body.
Okay. And this person steps forward and just looks around and then back over his shoulder at you. Eyes are piercing in the sense that this guy has obviously seen some shit. And as he looks back at you, you notice he does have a scar that runs down the side of his face. And he just looks around and nods and says, "My name is Obed Valaxian."
Say it
And
again. You
I-
broke up.
He says, "My name is Obed Valaxian. What can I answer for you?"
I pull the scorpion out, and I'm like, there was a creature we encountered that had many arms, rolled around on them like a wagon wheel. And when we killed it, it didn't stay as it was. It became a bunch of these and pulled the scorpion out.
Titus, before I forget, Titus and Felix, please roll me a history check.
Does Xanthion recognize the symbol?
Yeah, I was gonna ask the same thing.
There is no chance that Emma has seen it before.
Okay, that's fair.
18 there, Shannon.
Is Xanthion proficient in history?
Question. No, he's not.
Okay. No, you are not familiar with it. Felix and Titus, neither one of you have ever seen this symbol before.
You have a 20 wisdom? Damn.
No, he's just proficient in history.
Oh, that's Felix. I thought that was that was Xanthion.
Yeah. No. Okay. And as you are saying this, he is listening to you, but then he also looks over at you, Felix, and just like pointing you out. Not viciously, but just knowing that you were the source of the sound that he heard. Says, that is a sound I have not heard in a very long time. I need to talk to you more about that. You,
Yes.
scorpions, you say, and he walks up to you.
Yes. Estimate what? 50 scorpions?
No, probably more like a couple of hundred.
Yes. After the creature died, it turned into these scorpions.
May I?
Yes.
Wonderful. And he holds it, he puts the husk up on his palm and he's studying it over.
And then with prestidigitation, I'm going to make a little illusion in my hand of the creature.
Mhm.
Did it stand like 8 feet? Was it?
Yeah, it was about 8 feet tall.
It stood about 8 feet tall, and then put a little illusion in my hand of what it looked like.
So what? Yeah.
Like technically, you could summon a legitimate wood carving of it. That's just perfect.
Probably about
which
5
is
minutes
something
left.
I find is
What's up?
hilarious about prestidigitation.
Oh, you could go ahead and get in the shower.
Because you can summon an actual object.
He looks it over and yes. This creature, did it materialize?
Yes, it's like it came out of some kind of visible rift.
Yes, a rift between the prime and the border ethereal. It's filling up with these sorts of things.
And what was peculiar is the day before this happened, I witnessed a man incantation blink. And when he returned from the blink, he was mutilated.
Yes, that is ill-advised. Anyone here who dabbles in wizardry or sorcery, I strongly advise stay away from the border ethereal right now. Unlike what is going on in the Feywild and the Shadowfell, there are no forces counterbalancing the infestation there.
What are these creatures?
Aberrations of some sort. I am not entirely certain, but it is my job, our job, to stand watch against them.
To continue on, which you provide an excellent springboard to, by the way, my sponsor told me that communication between the material plane and the upper realms is becoming obfuscated in some way. So whatever this thing is, puppeteering calamity on this side, is also putting up a bulwark against any forces that might be able to help.
Yes. This is in agreement with what we have found as well.
Titus is crazy interested in his party's drop of information because there's a lot of stuff being said that Titus never knew about these guys.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you know of? How much do you know of Celestials?
It is my job to know.
Zadriel?
Is that the lore dude?
Sorry, say that again. Is what the lore dude?
The guy who said it's my job to know.
No, that is the guy who has just entered the chamber, the
Okay.
guy in the breastplate with the symbol that you guys have never seen before. Hold on just 1 second.
Did I make an NPC have to roll?
Mm-hmm. Because you actually name dropped. Yes, okay. Zadriel. Angelic. Solar? Planetar?
I believe Planetar, aquamarine skin, bald head, white wings.
Certainly Planetar. Yes, what of them?
Uh, he's my sponsor.
Oh, you're a pact keeper.
No, and Felix will just say fuck it and pop the wings.
Ah, yes, plain touched.
Yeah, sponsor, not patron.
Well, Master Pavel, who has been invaluable to our efforts to stay on top of everything that is going on in the surrounding areas, tells me that you have some questions. As a spokesperson for the Vigilant Wardenry, what can I answer for you?
The Vigilant Wardenry?
Yes, that is our organization.
Would
We
Felix
are-
know anything with that name drop?
Go ahead and roll me another history check.
Okay.
Titus as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
Another 18.
Okay. You think you maybe have heard that name before? Like maybe just kind of like like come across it somewhere, but it definitely does not ring any bells. How versed in history is everyone here?
Fairly well, but
Not very, to be honest.
seem to be drawing a blank when it comes to the Vigilant.
Petra says, I don't pay any attention to anything that's not me, so.
That's very, very apropos for bards. No offense.
It really is. No. I'm not offended. It
Well,
is.
If I could take the liberty to go on a brief history lesson.
Is it going to be brief?
I will make it as brief as I can.
I know you will.
I will fill you in on what we know up to this point. And that's where we'll pick up next session.
Oh, come on. I was waiting for someone to ask about mail off again, and I was
come on.
drop the illusion.
Well, you'll have to do that next week.
Mm-hmm.
Or 2 weeks from now.
Ah.
And the look on Ben and Christian's face tells me everything I need to know about how much of a bastard I am.
You did it, Shannon.
Well,
Congratulations.
Say experience so I can stop recording.
All right, let me look up what the ogres were worth. All right.
I think I'm gonna start doing more bits like that, where like when Emma just stepped on top of the corpse and was just looking at it.
Yeah, that was creepy, dude. Well played. Does Emma have inspiration?
I don't think so. I
Oh
think
God, creepy and spoopy.
yeah, no, I used it.
Go ahead and give yourself for that. That was creepy. Also, does Xanthion have inspiration?
For the pig.
No, he doesn't.
Well, he does now for the pig.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Everybody and I'm going to go ahead, Christian, since you were able to make it, I'm going to give you a share of the ogres anyway, just because, it's not your fault that you had a basketball game. Everybody take 875 experience points.
That's a level up.
Nice.
It's almost a level up.
Xanthion,
It would be a level up